Happy Wednesday, everybody. I think if it's Passover, if you're Jewish, I'm not sure. I know it's around Easter time, but I'm not sure when it is. It passes over all of us. I don't know. It says, "Hey, it's over my head." It's passing over. But good
Not
morning,
tricking me
Bobby.
with that. I'm not getting that. I'm not answering whether or not it's Passover. You're not catching me like that with your Jew bait. Happy
Oh, I didn't.
whole.
Do you think that's how they got?
I think that's how the Nazis were probably walking around Germany, like, is today Passover? And they were like, "Oi, they Passover was last week."
Or,
And they're
or
like,
they,
"Oh,
they
we
just
got
had
a
a
camp
soldier
for
sit
you."
there with a card in his hand, and he'd go,
Yeah,
"Chocolate They're like, "It's Hanukkah." They're like, "Ah!" They grab him. Wiley. So
exactly.
wily. Yeah, that's a way to start a morning show. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, V. How's it going, buddy?
Welcome
Um,
aboard, V. That's
for
Christian,
those who
by the
didn't
way.
watch, we did a POS last night around 7 o'clock. That's up there on it's gonna be up there until the end of this show, and then it's gonna be so if you didn't watch it yet, join the Patreon. It's gonna be the POS shows. I think Bobby, if you're fine with this executive decision moving forward, we'll go live with the POS evening shows, but then I'll let them go for the rest of the night, whatever it is, and then they will live on Patreon where people can watch them if they want. So if you want to watch the POS evening, more freeform fun shows, go on there for
Yeah,
that viewing need for only $3 a month. And the morning shows right now will all stay here. Then
I,
eventually down the
I,
road, two of the three will stay here, and one of the morning ones will probably go there as well.
I love that whole plan. The only thing I'd argue is I think these are just as fun, but more formal. You said the evenings were more fun.
Right. I said that in fun, but I meant like that's fun in our sense of like wild debauchery
Freedom.
fun.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is morning zany. Steel toe in the morning, giant forehead, wife's a whore. I'm trying to work on a t-shirt for it, but it's very long. And they don't make t-shirts the size of her forehead, so I don't know what to do with it. But
I almost stepped on that. I'm glad I let you get there.
thank
I
you.
almost was
Yes.
like, we could put it on our forehead.
Do you think? Do you think that's what Aaron says? He's like, I almost stepped on it, but I'm glad I let you get there. He just steps right on her fucking forehead because it's all over the bed, baby. He can't get up. It's nothing but forehead for bed.
They've got a twin size bed, but it extends out into a California king for her forehead.
California King. It does sound like the gayest of kings.
Yeah.
I am the California King. Like I understand it's bad that they changed it. I get it. It's supposed to be bigger, but wouldn't that be a Texas King if you were really gonna do it right?
1000% it would be a well, okay. Can you have a
An
Texas
Alaskan
kingdom?
King.
Alaskan would be a better option. Texas won't allow it. They don't allow kings. They're pure democracy.
Even in their beds.
Yeah, you aren't allowed to have a bed. It's called a master bed in Texas. I won't tell you why.
Did you watch? And okay. First of all, do you ever listen to a radio show or like a TV talk show in the morning, and you know that the one host is asking the other host a question that they already went over, but he's pretending like they didn't. You ever see that before?
All the time. I know
Yeah.
exactly
So
what you're
Bobby, did
referring
you
to.
watch David Tell special?
No, I can't say I watched David Tell special yet, Pat. Anything controversial happen with it?
Yeah, what happened was that I found out that I'm a fucking hack piece of shit because literally I started to ask you. That's when I caught myself. I'm like, "Hey, Bobby," and I'm like, "We literally 2 seconds before the show started, I just talked to you about this. I could have just said, why do I feel like I have to get into that fucking goofball Michael Strahan bullshit?" Where I'm like, "Hey, everybody, did you know lima beans aren't from the land of Lima?" And the lady's like, "No, I didn't know that." You can see a sign with all the lima bean charts in the back. I don't know if that's the fucking kind of stuff they're doing, highbrow stuff like lima bean humor on the morning of today's show. But
I'm a little bad you blew that bit as a throwaway instead of bringing that up on air and be like, "Hey, Bobby, do you know where lima beans come from?" I would have been like, "Lima, Peru," and you would have been like, "No, you're a dumbass."
yeah, it's from the Victoria's Secret model, Alessandra Limo, whatever the fuck her name was. I don't know. That hot
It's
lady who
just her
also had a
genital
menacing
warts; they
forehead.
freeze off. Yeah.
uh,
So anyway, you were telling
you
me
sound a
about
little
not
low to me.
thanks for
Maybe
the
it's just
memories.
me.
How about now?
Now it's hot and beautiful. There you
Perfect.
go. So good morning, Aaron. How are you, sir? So yeah, yes, I know. You're like, Pat, where's the breaking news? Dude, we've gone too hard to the paint on the Charlotte the Stingray thing. There isn't any Charlotte the Stingray news anywhere. Like
We
none.
Is
Go
it time for us to start like a fireman who there aren't enough fires to put out, start committing arson? Should we start tormenting Charlotte the Stingray so that there's news about her?
Oh, I thought you meant should we start getting other stingrays pregnant? I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Apparently, neither do stingrays, okay? Because it's a goddamn mystery of science.
Man.
Thank God
I've
humans
been
can't get pregnant like that. Otherwise, boy, I'd have 9 fucking kids right now. Just isolation and depression.
No, but see, you wouldn't because the kids would never be born, Bobby. Because Charlotte the Stingray, this started. They said the scientists discovered that the stingray was pregnant around February 11th, and that right then they found out that that was very close to what they thought would be the due date anyway, like a week or two later. Because if you don't find out so much later, it's a much quicker process. But they really thought it should be out by now, and now it's been the more, I know I say it every time now, but the more and more I read these stories, the more they're kind of pushing it off, the more and more I think this thing wasn't pregnant.
No, not at all. And it's one of those things where, other than us, there's no one in the news that's really pushing this out there, asking the questions. Like, it's one of those things that could go away without the babies ever being presented, and people won't continue to ask questions. It'll be like, hey, remember Charlotte? Yeah, I think it had its kids.
Yeah, but it didn't have its pups. It still hasn't been born yet. No one's really having updates. The updates are now old update. Like I'm actually, like when you used to watch a sitcom and in the mid-season point they'd put out like a best of in the middle, like highlights from like other things because they didn't have an episode. And the Rick and Morty does that wonderfully every year in their things now too as a joke. But we didn't really, dude. By the way, Aaron just won. I don't know if we can stop the show right now. But do we need a C-section? But boom, dude, Jesus Christ, that is beautiful. That's the stuff. You're not going to get that on morning radio, ladies and gentlemen. The interaction with their fans aren't going to give you something fun like that on a lot of shows, especially ones I've been on. If a guy like Aaron tried to get in that singer, they would have hung up on him or told him to go home because he was too funny for the show. But anyway, that's not me saying personal things. Anyway, but yeah, it's gotten to the point where we're just getting rehashed old things again. I saw an article put out that was supposedly put out yesterday that was all about the commerce happening in the area. And it mentioned everything we'd already talked about. Then I saw another one where they talked about, the possibilities of the baby being, they were just rehashing everything that we've talked about every single time. Husey, I see you. I see you.
I C-section, you see, Husey. But
and
there isn't.
I choose to not put it up.
What boggles me the most is there isn't a big store in the area. Like, they're not asking the employees of Walmart how it's affecting the commerce. I think this is all a ruse by the town. Like, all people who could just try to trick people into coming to Henderson. If the media, like if the internet didn't exist, Pat, they could have run this scam literally forever. You could just buy a billboard by the highway. We've got a fake pregnant stingray. Not fake.
See, that's why it confused me even more. And I agree with you, like 100%. But I don't understand why people are going. Because the internet exists. You could literally go see a pregnant stingray you could just Google pregnant stingray and see one. I understand that people are not like, oh, you can see. What are you going when you're going? Are you going because you hope to catch the birth, or you're hoping to see the babies, or I don't know what they're hoping to see when they go at a random moment. But all that you could see on the, or just look up how stingrays give birth because of the. Back in the day, you would go travel to go see the snake oil salesman and his wacky stuff, or go see the freak show and all these crazy things. You wouldn't mind traveling and going and do that because there was nothing else for entertainment wise, and you could get duped. You didn't even know you got duped because there was no one to tell you afterwards it was a prank or a dupe. You know what I mean? You just lived through life thinking you saw some shit. That was it. But now with this, I don't understand because they're not making enough money. I can't imagine to fucking live. I mean, and if they do, and you can't get sued for that, like slander. If it is fake, and even if it is fake, I don't think anybody will give a fuck. They could just say, hey, we didn't understand the birth because there was no father. We thought it was part of the Genesis, but it wasn't that. It was this and that. And therefore, it turned into something else. You know what I mean? Real bad. We're gonna cover a story
Brenda,
later. But
Brenda could come out and be like, I don't understand stingrays at all. I started this in my kitchen sink. I'm not a marine biologist. You guys cannot prosecute me here. I have no knowledge.
I'm from the mountains. I teach mountain. I was a teacher, not even in a good school area, in a place where you have to just teach you how to read good. Like that's it. So yeah, she could just say I was maybe I was wrong, but I never once said I was the Jacques Cousteau of the mountains. I never said that. I'm just Brenda Raymer, a lady trying to live her life, do her dreams. You know, then you get behind the women's power movement and all that stuff. It's fine, but like, I don't know what happens if they say we lied. I mean, it didn't hurt anybody. It was just a stupid story thing, and it didn't fucking care. But
I don't think they'll come out and say we lied. I think they'll come out and say like we got it wrong, the evidence. Like I think that it'll come in a way where it seems like they thought they were doing the right thing all along.
now, I don't normally post things about other people, but when it's a good show idea, I'm gonna put it out there. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the
Yeah.
day, what Hughesy's trying to do is bring entertainment. If we had more Stingray news, I'd be able to talk about that and not about this. But if Hughesy's gonna say, "Hey, give two things that aren't doing its job work," that's what I'm saying.
Which,
Charlotte the Stingray, Ray DeVito's jokes together.
oh, I was
doing
gonna
his
say
job.
Sting's working up a storm. He had that song about Christmas where he pretended he was Hawaiian, and Ray DeVito's doing work too.
Oh, see, my
He
problem
has
is
to. You were thinking
that
wrestler
Sting.
Sting.
No, I was actually just thinking that Husey was so European that he thought a Stingray's first name was Sting. Because they don't have like real fish over there. He's like, oh, that's Stingray. It's like, they don't know.
I thought they were going to
corned
have
beef a
tantric
fish? They don't
sex
fucking know. Yes.
for
But
8
yeah,
hours.
I would have, when it goes to that kind of stuff, as much as I am a wrestling fan, I will always go Fields of Gold before I go Scorpion Deathlock. Every fucking time.
We saw three
Ladies and gentlemen,
ships sailing in on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day. That one.
I am one of the few people that probably likes Sting by himself more than Sting with the Police. But
I mean, that's how I feel with Phil Collins and Genesis.
I think most people feel that too. I think there's some bangers from Genesis that you like, but most of the songs you think are from Genesis are just
Or
Phil
Phil
Collins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like he saved himself. Phil Collins, fuck you, just about dead. He's been dying
You're
for a
saying
while. Like, yeah.
he can no longer feel the love tonight.
No, no. And if we say he's dead before he dies, will he sue studio us? Phil Collins, humor in the morning, baby.
You guys wanted morning radio. I don't think it would be funny.
So because of all that, I don't even think it's worthy of doing a POS thing of Charlotte the Stingray. We have nothing. With the POS story again would be us saying, why isn't there anything? We went there. So I guess my morning fun story will be what I started to say before we went into that. The reason why I'm bringing up this goofiness is because I'm looking for stories in all the wrong places. I can't find Charlotte the Stingray. And I knew that Dave Attel, one of my favorite comedians in the world, and the guy who made the album, which I think is the greatest comedy album of all times, Skanks for the Memories. But
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but can you put up Hughesy's last comment for me real quick?
the one with Bobby?
Yep. Hey, Bobby, Can You Feel the Love Tonight is by Elton John. Ha, I bet I feel really stupid. No, that was gay bait. Caught you, Husey. Only you would know the gay singer sang that Disney song. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah.
Skanks for the memories.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I also was gonna say that, and then I was like, "That's pretty gay." So, but I
Yep.
also so Husey,
Somebody
we were on the
didn't
same.
take one
God
person
damn
didn't
it.
take the gay bait.
No, I just didn't want to ruin what you were doing. I'm like, maybe it's a bit. I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, because he just claimed to be a huge Phil Collins fan, then why would he fucking not know? And I was
I'm glad
I
you
actually
got
was gonna,
that.
in my head, it was gonna be asshole, not Lion King. He's Tarzan, and that's even gayer and childlike. So I would go on pedophilia for the win.
We'd put you on a
Pedophilia me?
list.
It's like, yeah, finally I got the list. That's all I've been waiting for. List. Your kiss is on my list. Isn't that him too? Hall and Oates beat, baby. It's like,
Also,
no.
Gabe.
So I decided yesterday, because of Dave Attell's new special, the first one he's had in a long time on Netflix, Hot Cross Buns, came out. Now, before I know people haven't watched it yet, there might be a couple spoilers here, but I'm not going to spoil any of the jokes. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a Dave Attell fan, this is 100% Dave Attell. It's the same style. He's not pulling punches. He's doing the jokes like he does. He will make fun of all things. You know what I mean? But you're not going to learn. If you're someone who's new to Dave Attell, you're not learning about Dave Attell. Dave Attell's a joke teller. That's what it is. You're not getting anything there. He's making fun of his appearance constantly. He's making fun of the area constantly. He's making fun of things that are kind of around, but not really constantly. But when I first started it, I looked up to see, oh, how long is this? Because I knew I had so much time before you and I were going to go on last night. It's only 40 minutes long. And I know they're getting shorter and shorter. A lot of time people are just putting out specials. It's mostly people putting out specials like that. Like, for example, one of my favorite podcasts out there is Are You Garbage? Both the guys, Foley and Kippy, both have recently put out quote unquote specials on their YouTube channel. Each one of their specials is literally a half-hour set from a comedy club that they did. And they're funny. They're funny guys. So it's not that they're not funny, but they aren't specials. When you watch it, you go, this is a set you watch in a comedy club. You know, it's like Foley going, I'm fat and I did drugs and I did whatever. And only women don't like me. And it's not that that's not funny, but it's a special is supposed to be all your best stuff put together. So you're burning and doing, not your club set that you're doing. Not that you have different set, but you know what I'm saying. It just felt very much like I could walk into any funny bone in the country and see that set. And that doesn't make it special. So usually, but I'm fine with that when Akash Singh put out his one about a while, not the newest one he did, but the one he did about a year ago, where it was like 20 minutes or 15 minutes. I understood why he was doing it. He was putting it up for the simple fact of just like, hey, the world is watching me on Flagrant. I've got all these views. Let's capitalize on this. So I get why they're putting out the short one, but that should be for YouTube still. If you're on Netflix and you're saying it's a Netflix special, I'm not saying it's going to be an hour. But I saw it said 40 minutes. I'm like, all right. Back in the day, that's what headliners did. 40, 45. Attel doesn't tell stories. He tells joke. I get it. It's all great. Dude, the special is like 30. The special itself is like 33 minutes long. Like not even. And then he ends it with something that's not really comedy. He ends it with something that I found very funny, but it's fucking weird. And then, even when that's done, it says on the screen, and yes, this is my spoiler. It says on the screen, hey, Netflix said it has to be at least 40 minutes for me to get paid. And I know we're like 2 minutes and 40 seconds short. So here's a video of me playing a recorder in front of walruses. And dude, they just do a countdown in the corner. He's outside playing a recorder while walruses are on a thing. And it counts down 2 minutes to 40. And it's funny, but you're like, what the fuck? And at the end, it shows dollar sign. It shows dollar signs. It says, cha-ching, we got our money. Thank you.
That's all right. I mean, that's pretty funny. It's not stand-up, but it as far as like a special goes, that feels more like a special than like the club set, you know?
And I knew when I watched it, I said, Bobby would enjoy that. Now, there's other things that lead to this, so therefore I'm not spoiling all that stuff. But I knew that you like outside the box. Like when you watch some old stand-up special back in the day, not even super old. Let's say like Mulaney's first good one. You know, the one where he's in this in the whole suit at the beginning and he's a young boy and all that kind of stuff. You know, that special, he starts off by they make that song, The New in Town, and they pretend like it's an old sitcom, and you get like a 2-minute little sketch thing, and at the end they do it again. I know some people now are like, why do they always do like dumb acting or things? But that was always fun. The kind of like, I'm making it special, so I'm going to do something you don't normally see from me. A fun little. Some guys go too far with that in their specials. They're like, you know, Dimitri Martin, people like that will go way outside the box and go away from the stand-up, play a video or something else, and come back over here.
And come back in.
I don't always enjoy that. I kind of, when I'm watching stand-up, I just want stand-up, but I do appreciate it. Hey, Stormy, good morning. I do appreciate all that kind of stuff in there when someone tries to do it. So I do appreciate it. But at the same time, I've been waiting for Dave Attell to put together a special of all, or an album of all the jokes. And believe me, it's not going to be new stuff. It's been like a 20 something year span in between. He's been doing these jokes for a while. Some of them are kind of updated and things like, there's some at least that happened during COVID time. So it's not like didn't happen in the last 5-6 years, but he's not the kind of guy that does like, super topical. But I kind of thought that he would have amassed an hour to not have to do that. Now, if the thought was I'm doing this regardless, it's fine. But dude, when you watch it, you're like, this is like, I think this might be real. He might really have been short and they didn't know what to do, which is crazy because in most specials, we all know you're editing. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, you're pulling out a couple, which means they couldn't have pulled anything out. Or if they did, what did they pull out where they were that short? It's wild.
I wonder if his material, like, could you see cuts in his actual stand up?
No.
Like, I wouldn't know. You couldn't see it. It was seamless. Because, like, I
well,
wonder.
because they did a great job of, because Attel gets such big laughs and because the fans, it was in San Diego where they fucking love him. So he
Yeah.
was in a place, whatever, where they all fucking, I'm sorry, I think it was in San Francisco. It was somewhere out there where they absolutely fucking love him. San Francisco. But also you could see him interacting with the joke at the end, and he would like fist bump people or like do the thing he does and look down at them. So you're seeing the whole thing back and forth there. So it wasn't really any kind of cuts there. And his material, I thought like at the beginning, like, oh, it's gonna be silly and fun, whatever, and he's gonna kind of pull back. He did all the same kind of things where he would make the joke that felt the racism, that felt the trans stuff, all that kind of stuff. He did that still. So they weren't pulling any of that stuff back. So I don't know what they
Wow.
would have pulled back. I think he really is going around. Do you know what the name of the special is?
Hot cross buns.
Right. And you know what Hot Cross Buns is?
The song he plays in front of the walruses.
But not only in front of the walruses, Bobby. I hate to spoil it, but I think the only story only works. I think people will watch it more if you hear what I'm saying. Dave Attell gives you some of the best, quickest, greatest stand-up you can hear and laugh your butt off for 30 minutes. And then he pulls out a fucking recorder and he fucking plays it for the people on the stage. And he just starts playing recorder and kind of talks about it. And then in the fucking move where I'm like, I want to kill myself, he goes, I think the world would get along better if we all did this. So everyone go under your chairs. Bobby, there's a recorder for every fucking person.
No way.
Now the whole
He
fucking
opened the
audience is playing recorders and they're all doing it and they're playing it. And then he goes, here's something you won't see anywhere and most people can't do. And then he pulls out a second recorder and then he plays two at the same fucking time as laser lights come down or whatever and flashing lights. And he's playing a fucking recorder. And then at the end, he walks around the crowd while kind of playing the recorder and does crowd work on people and makes fun of what they look like while going doo-doo-doo. And then they still had 2 minutes and 37 seconds left they had to fill. So dude, you only get like 30 minutes of comedy.
That sounds brilliant. I'm sold. I cannot wait to watch this.
Like I watched Rory Scoville's special recently. And at the very beginning, Scoville's also one of those weirdo guys, but I like that style of humor. But that one starts off with like it's a giant place in Minnesota, a huge stage, and they're playing relax.
All right, we're all gonna take a knee.
What?
We're gonna take a knee in tribute to Derek Chauvin, who I want to get out of prison. All right, let's do some comedy.
That would have, you know what? That would have been fun. Instead, he goes, it's playing Relax, that song from the 80s, like, whatever, relax, go to it. And then, like, fucking lights and fucking, it's bumping and it's a huge thing. And then he walks out and he's posing and shit. And it's crazy because he's not that kind of guy. And it's this tiny little guy on this giant ass stage. And it's like, it's pulsating music for a couple minutes. And he just grabs the mic and goes, people must be like, what is this? Why is he starting this show? Like and he goes, someone looked at their ticket going, he just talks, right? Like, what? Like that's what he does. He starts off with awesome music and lazy. So he does like his first joke is basically on this thing I added in, but he still did an hour. You know what I mean? So you could do that shit at the beginning, but it wasn't like, how do I get? Because if and I know he's been traveling around. He just headlined the Mothership this weekend. Is he going around playing the recorder everywhere this long, or did he just go? This is something for the special because that means he was just traveling around playing the recorder. Does he not have any more jokes? Is he out
Or
of jokes? Because
I get what you're saying, but I do think there's something to be said. Like, have you ever been at a show with perhaps somebody who's a comedian who drinks too much, and they're like, they paid us before the show. This is going to be a problem. Like, I now can do it. Like, the idea, it felt like doing the minimum you can to get the money is kind of like a comedian's thing, right? Like you were saying the other day, you did the birthday party for 15 minutes. If you want me to do 30, I want more. Like, I love the idea of Attel doing 30 minutes of comedy, playing the recorder for 7, and then being like, all right, we'll fill the last 3 with what? Me playing the recorder. Like, part of that makes it a joke for me, and maybe I'm too meta, you know what I mean, thinking too deep into it, and he just didn't have the material. But part of me just thinks that's hilarious. Like, if they watched him for an hour and he did an hour of jokes and then gave them that 30 minutes, that's pretty fucking funny.
yeah, no, and yes, I agree with that. I had a different take on it. Attell is one of the best comics there is, right? If we talk about,
Yeah.
if you talk to comedians about some of the best joke writers or most, especially you talk to anyone from New York who came up in the last 30 years, who do they respect? Who's the best? Who's the go? And you can see it by his tour of the podcast now. He never had to really do that, but to promote this special, everyone is opening their doors to Dave Attell to come on. And as he has always been known, a guy who takes care of the comics, he's every appearance is with Ian Finance. Like Ian's on
Yep.
all these shows. Ian's not just kind of hanging out in the back. He's like, nope, this is my opening guy. And even on Shane's podcast, he let Ian. He said, well, you got one coming out too. And Ian kind of gave a look like, well, yeah, I do have a special in April. He's like, yeah, tell him what day. Like he let him promote his thing. Attell is a guy who loves comedy, loves comedians, all that kind of stuff. But he's not in the world. Young people in their, once again, the grandma test. I would hope that people would know who he was. But because he hasn't been on TV, in movies, he's just a stand-up. I don't know if he's known as a fucking Matt Rife or somebody else like that. So therefore, I think it's a confidence thing with him. Because he's always been that kind of way anyway. Like, I'm this, I'm not that funny. And everyone's like, you're the fucking goat. And he's like, whatever. Do you think that he thought, or he's a people, he might have gotten into his people's heads, and having someone like Ian who's crazy and different being in his ear and stuff, hey, if you're worried about getting views, do something that people will go, dude, did you fucking see Dave Attell playing the goddamn flute in his special? So now they go over there and go, what? And now they're going to give it a view. Kind of like when Matt Rife was like, did you hear Matt Rife is going to be saying something crazy? He's supposed to like women. Now he hates women. So people would click on the thing, and then Netflix would get their view or their thing. And I'm sure, I don't know exactly how Netflix deals work. I've heard other people talk about it. I've never been at that level to talk about anything like that with Netflix, but they don't count. They don't show the public how many watches something gets. We don't get to see like YouTube does. But I do know what they do pay attention to is, are people who are signing up for Netflix. Like if you got a
Watching that
Netflix account
first.
today, is that one of the first things you're doing? Because that's
Yep.
the reason why Chappelle got the money he got, and Sandler got the money he got, and all the other big stars got the money they got on there, because they're like, hey, WWE going to be streaming all Raw on January 1st. Every Monday you're going to watch Raw on Netflix now, and that's because they know the wrestling fans will all get this to watch wrestling. So people that didn't have Netflix or saved it are now going to like, drop another app or do whatever and then jump in, and therefore getting your worth, and therefore you get more money and deals. I don't think they're doing that with a comic with one special, but they probably are paying attention to, are you bringing us new people or are you just here like that? Because Attell does have other things he could bring to the table, but I don't think Comedy Central will ever release Insomniacs or things to him. So therefore, he can't bring that like Chappelle was able to have that battle and get his shit to bring it over. If he could bring Insomniacs, if he could bring Thanks for the Memories, and those could be on there, then it would be an awesome thing. Like the Attell collection, people would go watch. But all he's got is this. So maybe he really was like, if I do something fucking weird, people will talk about it and go watch it and go, wait, what the fuck? He played the flute?
But Attell's always been the weird guy.
Yeah,
Like
I know, but
even when he would do like the bonfire and stuff, he would always bring in like dum-dums or something to make it like the idea, like you were saying with Rory flexing and stuff, having something to talk about that he did right out. Like Attel would always kind of set himself up for that with a weird thing that's what we're talking about today, not whatever's actually going on. So I could see that as him just being like, I'm being weird. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying. Like, will it bring people? I don't think if you go, hey, you got to see this guy you've never heard of doing a recorder in front of walruses, I don't know if that's going to drive people the same way. Hey, this beautiful boy who all the women love is now a woman hater did. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe that's finance logic, but
Right, but
I don't
no,
know.
I don't know if it'd be him playing the flute, but it would be, hey, if you want to make a fucking weird ass meme, if you want to make a fucking TikTok based off a guy playing the flute in front of a
Fuck, I didn't even
walrus,
think about
you've got to
that.
watch it on Netflix. That's how he's getting his clicks. That clip will go.
Fuck.
That clip of that will be on, all over the place now. And if you want to fucking do it, you got to watch Netflix to grab this clip.
That's brilliant. Every teacher who ever was like, play the recorder, and a kid was like, I'm never going to have to do this in life, can now pull up the Netflix special and be like, oh, yeah? You want to be a comedian, Jimmy? Because this is what comedians do. I think Mike Tyson's going to knock him out.
No, I don't think it's going to be allowed. I think I think that fight is just going to be goofy and corny. I know what he was saying there. Hey, the Attel thing is not trying to save Netflix.
No.
That's not even in there. That's not even making the main meetings, like that kind of shit. It's just something there. We're adding more comedy to the. What they're doing is when their Netflix is a joke channel on Sirius, they're able to play Attel now. You know what I mean? Like
That's what they were doing. 100%. Yeah.
it's throwing
They
another
just
guy
want his
into the
actual
collection.
skanks for the memories.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping to be able to throw over there and say we can do that on that thing, and that's fine. And yeah, do I think the Tyson? I don't think that Netflix is I know everyone says that everyone's leaving. They're not leaving. No one's losing money. Everyone, when something comes on Netflix, everyone's right away. Did you see this? They don't even have to say Netflix anymore. Everyone still has. I get it that they stop people from sharing it, and they're like, you can't, if you're not in this at home with them, you can't share your password with them. You have to get your own. Netflix is doing just fine. They don't have any issue. Why do I know that? Because they're able to go after all these huge things and do it. And the money they just threw at WWE was fucking retarded. It was crazy. And the same thing with yes, you could say like, oh, they're not doing the Tyson Jake Paul thing to get views. They're doing the Tyson Jake Paul thing to prove that they can live stream. Because if they can live stream things like this, the NFL's all of a sudden on the table. The fucking college basketball's on the table. I don't know if anyone knows this. A lot of people right now they all just stream. A lot of people don't have cable anymore. It's expensive. I love to watch March Madness when it comes on. I was worried I couldn't watch March Madness. Not even just Hulu. Better, Max, which used to be HBO, but just Max is doing it. But you don't have to what you do is they put the thing that says show is like live. So like if UConn was playing live, you can click on that one, but underneath you hit another live button and it shows you the 4 other games that are happening right there. So you can just click on that and you can just watch each one of them, and then you get that channels in between, but without any commercials. So you get Charles Barkley and the Jet and Clark Kellogg and Ernie all talking about the games in between. And then they had a second team set up for the other games, so you weren't getting overlapping. So they were doing it so you could watch that shit at all times. And it was flawless. And I know people had an issue with the NFL when they were doing their whole thing with letting the Chiefs game and the Dolphins game be on just Peacock and that's it. But they were testing to see who would go over there to watch it, which is a smart move. Even if you buy it for 1 month, or even if you get the free trial, they don't care. Like, let's have you dip your toe in the water. We'll try to get you in. Then we'll see if we can keep you. But again, that kind of stuff's tough because of all the commercials in there. So NFL
yes and no.
Different.
Yes and no, though, because that's the one area where Netflix is behind all the other streamers. Like Hulu came to the table second, but got live TV first. YouTube TV, I mean, people are talking about how much better that is for the NFL than Red Zone. So I think you're absolutely right. Netflix needs to prove that Hulu's a shittier version of Netflix. Netflix has better quality, better what do you call that? Interfacing and all that stuff. But now it doesn't have the live TV. So I think they're going to do that for that. For me, the piece of shit in this story is probably Dave Attel.
Elaborate.
No room for a triangle. You've got all this recorder humor, but you didn't bust out a triangle either. Come on.
Well, here's why there's no room. Because in each pocket was a recorder. He literally had no room in his pockets for these things.
It's not a big instrument.
If I'm going to take an annoying instrument at the end of a show, I'll take the recorder over just dings. You know what I mean? And I think for Dave Attell, his humor always leans into like blatant, stereotypical racism, which is he's funny with it. I'm not saying in a bad way. Anything with a ding is going to turn into a ching, and a ching is going to turn into a chink. So he knows right away his mind's going to go Chinese. Flute could go gay, but he still does. He's always good at going gay, like whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. All right. Maybe I'm wrong.
But I think the piece of shit in this story are specials. I used to love it. I hate to be this comic. I used to love a comedy special. And I know everyone, if you've noticed what Bobby, when we talk about my next recording, I don't ever call it a special. I know people that are at my level or even lower that call it a special. I'm recording an album. And then people go, album? That's not a thing anymore. I go, the term is still a thing. It's just a recording of all my work right now that I'm putting out for people to hear so I can work on new stuff like a garage band would do. I'm putting out things that I want to do here. But to say it's special, to put it out there on Netflix for the world to see, having like a countdown, you can't wait to see this thing. Everyone's doing it so much, and it's kind of lost its luster. It really is just become an advertisement. Specials are just advertisements for live touring. That's all it's become. You watch this thing and go, oh yeah, this guy. Now I'm going to go see this guy. That's why they're putting them out all the fucking time and nonstop. But they're not as good. We all complain like, oh, this one wasn't as good as that one. But then how many do they have? Louis, as great as his works were with all the ones he put out, there was a lot of duds, not the whole specials, but like in those things where if he didn't do it every year and combined all those great jokes for 2 years and made one every 2 or 3 years, it would have been one of the best albums ever each time. You know what I mean? So like with the thing with Attel is I think Attel was just like, well, I'm at the end of my life. Everyone's saying I got to record something. Everyone's saying I got to put something out there. But fans of comedy were going to make a big deal out of this. So it needed to be more special. He shouldn't have had to do anything. He should have been able just to go away with Skanks for the Memories. And if you wanted, to me, the mystery of Attel was if you want to see Attel's new stuff, you got to go see Dave Attell. I kind of liked that. I kind of liked that he was like that Willie Nelson. When's the last Willie Nelson album you remember? You know what I mean?
None.
But people still go watch him play all the time. And it could be stuff from like 40 years ago, and he could have a new song. We don't fucking know. But it was that mystery of that traveling man of just out there doing his thing and shit like that. And I kind of like that Attell was that. And then he puts this out, and he plays the flute. I won't personally go watch Dave Attell if I know he's coming in the area. I'm not watching him play the fucking flute, bro. It's just not what I want to watch. I don't want to be upset when I watch it.
I won't see him because Fidance is opening, but to each their own.
He can laugh at us all the money he's getting from being a Attell's drug holder. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, spend all that money on your AIDS cocktail. Well, it's not the only thing he'll smoke.
Okay, allegedly.
No, he's admitted to it.
No. Allegedly, there's the word tail at the end. It's just AIDS cock. Anyway, AIDS cock in the morning. But yeah, I think the piece of shit is just specials in general. I'm watching all these things come out and they're not special. They're just albums. They're just your next recording. They're just videos. It's not just either. It's an awesome accomplishment. But
it's not
a special should be Bill Burr.
Or unless like Bill Burr puts out
23 minutes.
When Soder waited for HBO. Because he grew up in the HBO comedy, and he got the arena, he got the opening thing. It was his material from the past 5 years. You know what I mean? Like that felt like a special to me.
Right, whereas, and he ruined it with the last thing he's put out with the Roadwork thing.
With the Roadwork, exactly. Like that's not a special, but he's also not calling it a special. He's kind of doing the thing you're doing where he's like, take a look at this. It's what I'm doing on the road. It's an idea of what I'm up to now. He's not. So I think he's kind of differentiating in the same way you were looking for.
Right.
But
I think management now is like, because it used to be like, oh, we should pitch it to a network to get money. And then when they realized you can do YouTube, they're like, oh, good. It's free for the people. But they're like, yeah, but you do get money if you get a certain amount of views. You do get more monetization if you do this. You want to drive up the numbers big and everything like that. And you're seeing what they're all doing there. So I think a lot of them are leaning in going, hey, can you put something up on YouTube? And they're like, well, I got a podcast. Yeah, but how about comedy driven? Let's do something like that. He's like, well, I don't really want to put a special out yet, but can you, maybe just take a half-hour thing. So I get what they're doing.
From the road, just take a random club. No.
If Dave Attell did that, that'd be great, but he doesn't have any Attell doesn't have any presence anywhere on the internet. You know what I mean? Not
No.
really.
And that's kind
So
of the
it's
beauty
like,
of it. So this is his one representation that's out there now, and it isn't the best of what he can do.
he's
Is
playing
what
the
you're
flute.
saying. That's fair. That's
And
fair.
that's not his fault. That's people pushing specials.
Or the bullshit. I would say like the adding in of stuff does make it feel a little more specially, but really, like, do you remember Comedy Central Presents? And I know
Yeah.
I've been trying to move off of the subject, but we'll like when they had
No,
it
go
was
ahead.
the same stage, but they did the backgrounds different for every comedian. Like
Huh?
that was kind of what YouTube has become now. Like the YouTube special is just here's me. It's kind of boiled down. It may not be the best version of me, but it's a good enough representation. Let's get it out there for people to know who I am. And then if I were to do it, I would do that and then hope a bigger network pick me up for an actual special where you wouldn't have heard the jokes before. Like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Whereas
No,
like I think the death of the Comedy Central special led to the YouTube
no, and
phenomenon.
I get that, and I understand that what you're really doing is you're just trying to rack up numbers so somebody will buy you. I get that. I mean, that's what Andrew Schultz was trying to do with his. And I'm not trying to be a dick, and I'm not saying I know anything, but what felt like a very fake story about how he was shopping it around. Someone bought it, he bought it back. I don't think anybody was buying Schultz's thing. I think Schultz's numbers are great on YouTube for his podcast and things, but Schultz is not this in-demand comic in the way he built that. He Ringling Brothers and Wizard of Oz the shit out of that and became huge with the numbers. But I don't think Netflix or Hulu or all of them are like, this is going to bring new eyes to us. Whoever's liking comedy and likes that kind of shit he's doing is already on there watching girly show. I hate to say it, but they're already watching like like the weird thing that used to be like Archie and Jughead, whatever the fuck it was, that became like a drama show. Like they're all watching that kind of shit. So they're already there anyway. And so he was saying, oh, I'm trying to push it, whatever. And then he got monster numbers on YouTube by saying, buy it on my website first. You can't only see it on the website. And then 2 weeks later, goes, oh, it's free on YouTube. And then everyone's like, oh, fuck, I have to pay for it? Now I can run over there, puts up these monster numbers, and so he can turn to Netflix and go, look what I did. I made people
Now
buy in
hire me.
advance, and then I made people come here. When I say I'm somewhere, they're going there. Please give me money. I get that. So, and I get why Shane Gillis, perfect example, with the whole cancellation thing, is like, all right, I'll put something on YouTube. And the numbers were so fucking astronomical that, of course, Netflix is like, whatever you want, man. You want to put your old sitcom on here? You want to do whatever? Give us a special. You draw people over. We want you. Fuck, Saturday Night Live was like, come back on our show so you can draw people over here. Bud Light was like, hey, men don't like us anymore. Come back here so men will like us. So I get what you're doing here. But to do the goof, like, just to get back to what we're saying, it was made a big deal. Attel's finally, he's traveling around. Attel's doing a special. Finally, Dave Attell, if you're a fan of guy, is finally doing a special again. And then he played the fucking recorder, bro. It was funny and silly, but it was just like,
I'm just pissed because I got to take that out of my act now.
well, you can play it out of your butt. You didn't do that yet.
Nah, it's a little gay.
Did you know the guy who started all this Diddy stuff is called Lil Rod? I think the guy who's, I don't think the guy who started it would be that. I think the guy who took Little Rod is the guy who started. It's like
the guy, yeah, exactly. That's how he got it started, by taking the Little Rod.
But hello, Bob's Fly Baby. How are you this morning? I guess that Shuli's not on yet. Anyway,
welcome aboard.
So yeah, but Bobby, what do you got? We just did 43 minutes on the weirdest collage of Dave Attell and Charlotte the Stingray anyone's ever heard. Mornings.
I will actually give you 3 choices, Pat. Do you want to talk about music and sexual controversy, music and non-sexual controversy, or a situation unfolding in Lower Manhattan that not enough people are talking about?
As much as I want that, I want my Diddy. Give me music and sex, baby.
All right. Let's see.
Since
Diddy's
Bob
dilemma.
Baby has brought it up, it's on people's minds.
No, I know, but Diddy's dilemma. Feds play Bad Boys theme at hip-hop moguls' mansions. In a twist that could rival the plot of a soap opera, Sean Diddy Combs finds himself in a real-life drama that's got more action than a 90s music video. The hip-hop mogul, known for his flashy lifestyle and hit records, is now hitting headlines for a less glamorous reason. His homes on both coasts have become the stage for federal raids amid allegations that could make even a seasoned scriptwriter blush. Picture this. It's just another sunny day in the neighborhoods of rich and famous when suddenly black SUVs, helicopters descend upon the tranquil estates of Beverly Hills and Miami. The feds, apparently not content with the usual doorbell, decide to make an entrance that would make Michael Bay proud. They're not here to deliver a Grammy. They're looking for evidence in a sex trafficking probe that's got Diddy's name written all over it. Caught in the middle of this high-octane investigation.
Investigation.
Wow.
That's okay. We all do it.
Caught in the middle of this high-octane investigation is Diddy himself, who was spotted pacing around Miami Opa Locka Executive Airport, like a director figuring out his next shot. But this isn't a music video set, and those aren't backup dancers in the Homeland Security vests. The feds are serious, and they've got questions that need answers. Meanwhile, Diddy's sons find themselves in a cameo they never auditioned for, with handcuffs as their unwanted accessories near the family property. Rumors swirl that Diddy may have pulled a Houdini and escaped to the Caribbean, but like any good cliffhanger, the truth is shrouded in mystery. Flight trackers and internet sleuths claim Diddy's jets made a beeline for Antigua, but sources say the rap icon wasn't on board. The allegations against Diddy read like a script from a gritty crime drama, with lawsuits piling up faster than his hit records, from sexual misconduct to trafficking and everything in between. It seems Diddy's past is catching up with him in a way that no amount of remixing can fix. His lawyers, on the other hand, are singing a different tune, claiming the claims are complete lies and dismissing them as a money grab by scorned exes. As the feds continue their investigation, the world watches with bated breath. Will Diddy clear his name and drop a new track about his legal woes? Or will he face the music in the courtroom? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This saga has more hooks than a Puff Daddy album. So grab your popcorn and stay tuned, because Diddy drama is just getting started, and the feds don't look like they're ready to, quote, come with me, end quote, just yet.
I know that he says that in one of the songs, but that's not even like his top 5 songs. The end with the "come with me" one's a little dumb.
It's a deep cut by the AI there.
Yeah, AI should have gone with and even though the police are surrounding him, I don't know if he'll be coming out anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? But
and his sons say, "I'll be missing you," as their dad decides to pull an Epstein in a detention center.
Diddy was seen driving backwards away from the scene, like in the Hypnotized video, for about 12 miles in a fucking car.
Very impressive.
Now, I know that was an AI written thing that you had there. I was reading up some stuff on it this morning and things like that. There's a lot of conflicting reports. I think the thing out there right now is that he is not, no one thinks that he, in real life, he's not trying to flee or run away. He's just said, it's not, all this is fucking lies. I know these women are saying that. One of the women that said it is this woman, Cassie, who was someone he was dating for a while, and they settled something like a day fucking later. So, and then 2 other women and a guy came out. Now, believe me, I believe that he did a lot of fucked up shit, and I think he's just lying. But this time, supposedly he had a trip just set up to go to the Bahamas anyway, and was told he could not go. And then they raided the house. They raided 2 homes. In both those homes, they found a shit ton of guns. So they're like, what is this all about? So that part, I think, is being covered up a little bit too. Like, what was the planning with all the guns? Now, I know he's, they're supposed to say gangster rap and all that, but he hasn't been a gangster in a long fucking time. Motherfucker's ready for somebody coming somewhere, and they caught it on early if he thought he was going to get caught up in something. So he's not really trying to flee. I think he was, just, if anything, just getting ready for whatever could be happening.
That's fair. I think he was trying to flee. I think his goose is cooked. I think he and Meek Mill, the audio leak last night and was going around Twitter. Not a fun listen.
But it is hard with any audio leaks. Now, everyone's so good
it sounded
at
very hard.
God,
they sounded very hard.
But with those things, it is very easy. Like, just the same way you can deep fake someone you know's face on your favorite porn star. And you can always say, this is doctored. And you go so long down that rabbit hole that it kind of goes away. Now, it probably isn't doctored, but you keep fighting that thing back and forth and saying, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And then you finally go, oh, maybe it's not real. You start setting doubt in things. The same way Johnny Depp did with Amber Heard. As much as everyone walked away from that going, Amber Heard's the most evil person ever, Depp did a ton of gaslighting in that fucking shit and kept throwing, and everyone loved Johnny Depp, and he kept being like, oh, I'm the happy little pirate guy with, look at all my scarves. I got so many, I can't be an asshole with this many scarves. Look at me. You can't scarf it up and be an asshole. So
come on, dude, would they sell me all these accessories if I was that much of a dick?
Yeah. I'm an amazing magician guy. Look at me. I'm fun. So like they could throw that stuff out there too. I think he was, obviously a garbage human being and doing terrible things. I don't know if he was on the run, but I do know that this story is not going to go. This is going to be our new OJ trial. This is going to be huge. This is going to be a thing where we're going to see who can say this, who can say that. There's going to be a he said, she said. And the problem is, and this is going to be the fucked up part, all the people that are going to be accusing him of things, most of them have some sort of record, have some sort of issues, have things that had gone on in the past. Are they doing this to get out of their own things? Are they doing this because they're not getting money? It's going to be a lot of score where I don't think we're going to get the results people think we're going to get. I know we're all talking Epstein Island, all that kind of stuff. I really do think it's going to be a thing where they don't have enough proof or evidence of that. Even with these recordings, you're going to go, okay, but also, Meek Mill, haven't you also said this, this, and this about this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy? And that just resulted in things. I think when white lawyers get involved, they're going to go, is this one of those rap beefs I've watched on Versus? Is that what we're doing here? Are you just trying to go? And you can just keep doing that. Like, how are you credible when everything else you say is a lie? Now we're supposed to believe you because now this is a bad thing. But everything you guys say is a diss and a battle or whatever. The focus needs to be on the women that aren't, I hate to say this, it can't be Cassie. It can't be the ex-lover. It's got to be the two women and the guy that have come out and spoken recently and said, hey, I was sexually assaulted. Two of them were saying they were underage when it happened too. That's where all the investigation has to go. Everything else has to go away. The illusions of the gay basketball that we joked about yesterday on the podcast, those stories about all the grooming of the other people, yes, that's fine and that can go later on. But if you want to get Diddy for just being a fucking piece of shit like they did with R. Kelly when they pushed away all the other shit and went, he's pissing on this girl. He's being an asshole to young women. Look at the fuck. Take away the songs, take away the fun, take away the midget, all that shit. It's hard to take away the midget, but you have to sometimes. You fucking focus on creep in person, power on people without power. Look what the fuck happened. That's when you get it. But that's not the flash and fun people want. They want the helicopters like you're talking about. They look like a video scene. They want that Scarface feel. And when you're doing all that, his lawyers can say, look how much you're beefing this up for your own rate because no one's clicking on your stupid TMZ. That's what you're doing. Can you just leave me alone?
And you created a narrative that now my client can't get a real fair justice. You've opened him up to, it's not going to go the way people think it is. I do think what could happen, like you said, is get him for the underage stuff and then hit him with civil stuff for everybody else. I think a lot of reputations are going to be destroyed regardless. Like, I think a lot of people are going to have to come out and testify. Like, I think it's not going to make anybody look good in this situation. So there's not going to be so much a downfall of Diddy as it's just going to be like a nuclear bomb on anybody who touched him.
And then at the very end, there's going to be one more witness that comes up. They're going to say, what do you have to say about P. Diddy? He's going to grab his head, pull off his mask, and it's Tupac. And he's been alive the entire fucking time. No, Tupac's back. And he's like, Saha, bitch, gotcha.
I had to hide because that man wanted my booty hole.
Let's remember, though, when people are like, they can't believe this or whatever, let's remember the hustle this Diddy has. Like, where he started off as the little DJ, little bitch for B.I.G. and other people like that. I've never seen anyone capitalize on someone's death more than he did. And he did it in such a way where everyone still felt bad for him. But he was like, he got money for like woman that used to fuck Biggie. He got money for himself. He made 112 a thing for a little bit. So like, I need smooth black guys in the background. They're like, we can do I'll Be Missing You. Like, he created this whole family thing. He started to do that. But what did he do? He held on to the library. Like almost like in wrestling back where they buy the library of other territories and put it out there. And he used Biggie on so many songs for album after album. Like there was ones where you're combining Mace and Biggie. They didn't know each other. He was dead for a couple of years, but he kept using them. This guy is very good at capitalizing his things. So if you don't think he can also capitalize on the heartstrings when he gets time to think about how to make you feel bad for him, he can. So you have to throw out the fucking bullshit right away. You have to be like, don't let him do all the smoke and mirrors. Don't let him OJ this up. Don't let him wear the glove and go, oh, come on, man. I'm fun. Remember Hertz rent a car? I'm lovable OJ. Yeah. You love me from Naked Gun. You can't let that. You have to go, you fuck kids. You
like
fuck
Diddy,
kids.
Please don't
You're
say
not
Naked
Diddy.
Gun.
Right, yes. Yeah, clothed gun, please. All time.
Clothed gun,
Clothes on your gun. So I don't care about the gun. Just put some clothes on that shit. But no, they've got to push that. They've got to say, you're not Diddy, you're not Puff Daddy, you're not any of these names. You are Sean Combs, and you are fucking criminal, and you fucking fucked kids, and you need to go to jail. That's that has. We have to get rid of all this fucking shit that we're doing. The craziness of this story is becoming like a movie. You can already see Netflix making this movie.
There,
You know what I mean?
there's
About
so
all
many
this shit.
memes. Like, I don't know if you saw this morning on X, both Sean Combs and hashtag the Diddler were trending.
Yes, I have seen that.
And I feel like we kind of started that Diddler thing. Now, was there a lot of parallel thought? Sure, but we were the first ones to say it on the pod last night. I don't think anybody in
What?
the history of the world had ever said the Diddler prior to us doing it last night on the pod. Just want to make that clear.
I'm sure they have.
Nope.
But
in the entire history of the world, nobody called him the Diddler. Even when they put that flaming homosexual in the movie to play him, nobody went, I wonder if they should call him the Diddler. It was us.
We broke it in first. That's where the number one source for diddle jokes.
The Diddler News.
DNN, the Diddle News Network. That's who we are. Diddle News. But
one of the memes was literally Netflix right now getting ready to make the Diddler documentary, and it's like, yeah, of course, they're all over this.
I saw him making the Diddler too instead of making a murderer. Like I saw that one.
Oh no!
So there's a whole bunch they're gonna do that way. Yeah,
it's just the Jewish guy you partner with, like, oy vey, you suck cock so good.
But I also what I do like is it's brought back old memes before people were like thought he was a creep. It just there was, if you remember a couple years ago, there was a series of ones where they would put Little Diddy and stuff because Little Diddy about Jack and Diane. So they would just take a tiny picture of Diddy. And the one I saw yesterday right away is just like Jack Nicholson, Jack Nicholson, Jack Nicholson, not the golfer, the actor, Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton sitting on a beach in a tiny picture of Diddy. It's like Little Diddy with Jack and Diane, and it still makes me fucking laugh for no stupid reason. And putting little ditties and all this, let me tell you a little ditty, and he's just standing there. But now those memes are going to be him like on top of a guy's butthole or on top of a penis. It's going to be worse, it's not grosser. But
I like it. It reopens him.
Not so for me. Work.
For me, the piece of shit in this story is P. Diddy's butler.
But
exactly. But do you know this guy?
No, I don't know anything about P. Diddy's butler.
1 second.
P. Diddy's butler. I'm sure he has more than one butler.
Nope, it's this one dude in particular.
Well, he's like the special butler. The butler.
That's Farnsworth, P. Diddy's butler.
Yeah.
That man needs to get
Someone
on
the
stand.
At the end of last night's podcast, right?
That was Dominic. Yeah, so I actually got into the whole Diddy controversy before this stuff broke on the dump back when I was on there. Because and Farnsworth, the butler, dude, there's back so many rumors. It was a good
show and you were on it? Oh, anyway, go ahead.
I didn't say that.
I did.
I didn't contradict it though. But we got into it, and Farnsworth was one of the main focuses of the thing. This guy was a rapper, and he basically is just now Diddy's gay fuck toy. Like, he's a human alive sex doll for P. Diddy, was the rumor allegedly. And I think he's really yes, he did. Can you throw that up real quick? We've had 2 great comments by the guests today.
Yeah, but then did he clean off the umbrella afterwards too?
With his tongue.
Yeah, with his stupid mouth. But I've seen that guy around before, but I don't know why I always in my mind tied him in with the Black Eyed Peas, but I think I was confusing him with somebody else that looks kind of like that, but didn't have an umbrella. But I've seen the Farnsworth guy. I think when Diddy would come out and speak, like that guy would come on stage sometime. I think he was just like a character type thing too.
Yeah, he was, and that's how Diddy kind of used him. But basically, he has come out and spoke on the issue, saying that like it wasn't a good time.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thinks any black man with an umbrella looking like Urkel serving people is a good time. Because it's very Django-y, but like gayer. You know what I mean? Like it feels when you're like, I'll dress you up. I make you look like, oh, pretty this man. None of that looks like it's okay.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it was. It wasn't. Anyway, Farnsworth's the piece of shit. Take the stand and bring down this villain.
I think the piece of shit in this story is all of us. We all care so much about this about it being Diddy. No one's given a fuck about Diddy since like the early 2000s. Like seriously, we haven't cared. The fact that we just want our next crazy story or thing, whatever. Now, I think who should be I'm not saying no one should focus on it. I think, like I said before, the police should focus on it. But we're going to get in the way in this day and age. In this day and age where people want to make their own stories. There's going to be people trying to go to these houses themselves with video, like they do with the haunted houses and murder scenes and true crime shit like that, where it's like, hey, you got to get the fuck out of the way. Like, I'm allowed freedom of speech. I can do get the fuck out of the way. Or other people coming out saying, like, no, Diddy, I got you. All this weird support and all hate and all these things are going to get in the way of someone catching a fucking pedophile. Someone who, again, and that's what Hollywood does. You could say Hollywood's more acting, but music, entertainment business has the ability to go, we can fucking do smoke and mirrors until we can get away, or at least get a lesser thing. So at least you can set it up so we can get this guy's back, because we need that money moved somewhere. Yeah, Diddy, if you're not going to be the one who is our little guy holding the money, doing whatever, we're going to move that money to another person going that way. And then also, you want this all craziness, because who's next in that ladder? I mean, I've heard quiet little things here. Well, I've heard quiet little things that Jay-Z is involved in some way, shape, or form. Not in the sexual part, but in the part of like building those kind of empires and things in there. I saw a lot of pictures. I gotta correct you. What?
Jay-Z didn't do that. That was Hova.
Oh, for white people, Hova is also Jay-Z, but that's kind of like when Kobe Bryant was like, what was this Tosh joke? 8 didn't rape.
24.
24.
No, 24 didn't rape. 8 was the rapist.
Yeah,
but
change the number.
Hova is the persona Jay-Z made that told you to deal drugs, to do bad things like murder and commit sex crimes. Not Jay-Z. Jay-Z didn't tell you to do that. That's one of his famous lines.
Okay, if you're going to use that whole theory right there, when Tom Segura was saying Garth Brooks is a serial killer, why didn't Garth Brooks go, that's not me, that's Chris Gaines? Why didn't he use his thing he made up and go, Chris Gaines is killing people? Good morning, Mike. How are you, sir? The piece of shit is everyone that's fucking, I like that we're talking about it. Everyone's going to talk about it, but it's becoming so silly and crazy that no one's going to be, we're going to pass over the part where a lot of people got fucking hurt and treated like shit. Because that's what happens with these things. The Epstein thing, too. It's become, I fall into it too. We make such jokes about it that I know when you really start talking about, people go, that was really fucked up. But then they go back to, can you believe there was a fuck island? Can you believe who was on the island? Like, how about we talk about the part of who was on the island? Yeah, the kids, the people that shouldn't have been on that island. We don't talk about that. We should make it so uncomfortable that people just go fucking solve it and make it stop. But instead we go, where's the sensationalism? Where's the fun in it? Where's the crazy? Who are the wacky stars? And that's what this is going to become. Was your favorite rapper playing naked basketball? How about was your favorite rapper forcing a child to fucking do shit they didn't want to do? How about that fucking part? Why we're not going to focus on that enough?
Come on, that's hack. We've done that before. Right. Gary Glitter, Michael Jackson. Now it's about your favorite rapper being gay. It's time we move on.
The only podcast that lumps Gary Glitter and Michael Jackson in the same sentence in any way, even as pedophiles. That's how we do it. But
I'm just saying, you play any Michael Jackson song in one stadium, and I'll play Rock and Roll Part 2 in the other, and we'll see which one gets the fans fired up more.
Kids.
Hey.
But my issue with all this is that, and this is going to be a hot take or whatever, and I don't think it really is. I know we talk about other countries and their pedo problems and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. No one loves and supports a pedophile more than America. I'm sorry, but we don't. We wait.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Patrick.
No, because I know what you're going to say about other laws. I'm talking about, yes, they allow all that shit to happen and stuff. They all don't get TV shows and fucking specials and Netflix hits and all these things where it's like pedo, like about them. Like same thing with serial killers. We do it all the fucking time. We're just like, they're the best. Like stop fucking sensationalizing these people.
I know the point. I see what you're saying there, but I would argue that like there are Islamic-based theocracies throughout the world.
Right, they don't count. They're not going to be like, I'm talking about putting
But
it
but
out
they
to the
they all
masses.
worship Muhammad, and they put out the Quran, and he's a well documented pedophile. So I know they're not allowed to put him in the movies or depict him or bang bang
I'm saying
shooty
that that's
shooty
also
time.
this isn't a religion. It's not Diddy religion. That's a cult. I mean, all religions are cults. So hot take, whatever. But like, that's what that is anyway. I mean, real quickly, you've said it too. I believe in beliefs. I think it's great to have beliefs and do things. But when you're told you have to think this certain way and believe this thing, you got to think someone up there is doing weird shit to mask other stuff too. I'm wearing a flowing robe and a big old Pope hat. Because if you see this outfit, this guy can't fuck kids. I'm wearing too crazy of an outfit to fuck kids. It's like, yeah, you are. Who would fuck kids? A guy wearing that outfit. Same thing. I know what you're saying with all that stuff. I wasn't saying about the horrible things there. I'm saying we fucking let people know about them in a weird, positive way more. Even when we're saying they are awful and terrible, watch this really great documentary for 2 hours about how terrible they were fucking kids. And you just know their names all the time. And you know all
Yeah.
about them nonstop. This Diddy thing is like, yeah. I mean, there's people out there going, yay, someone else fucked kids. So now we have stories to write for fucking 5 months.
Is Diddy the Muhammad of the entertainment industry?
Did Hamid?
Diddler, the original Diddler. It's like they pass it down like the Joker. I prefer the Muhammad Diddler. I prefer the Diddy Diddler.
Mohammed might be his new name.
Well, here comes our Charlie do whatever, where the Muslims get us.
No, not until I write hashtag Homohammed underneath, and then it's all over for us.
Then it's over. But whatever. We had a good run.
We had a great run. We did. So yeah, the piece of shit is anyone who fucks kids. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Do you have another story you wanted to get to?
Oh, I've got so many stories. I was just trying to see how to spell Mohammed. All right, all right.
It's pretty easy. It's just HL Muhammad.
Right. Let's go lighter. We've been getting crazy. We went a little hard there into the paint with that one. Let's
Waka
go.
Flocka.
All right, Bobby, you like to do the offerings. Which one do you want? Do you want the solar eclipse, jokes gone wrong, or lottery winners?
Let's do the solar eclipse. What do you think? Unless if you had a favorite.
Nope, I didn't give a fuck about any of those. It's kind of how that works.
Probably good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I could give a shit about any of those things. But I think, as you know, and most people do know, if you follow any women with crystals on any kind of social media, the solar eclipse is coming.
Oh, God.
And it's going to be happening April 8th, I believe. And when a couple of years, I think last time we had one like this was like 2017, I believe it was. And when you're doing something of that nature with solar eclipse and you push that out there to people, everyone's like, I can't wait to go look at the moon block the sun. Isn't that going to be great to watch the moon block the sun? And they want to go out there. And then they have to be warned, hey, you need special glasses. And then always what happens? Someone's like, hey, NASA approved these special fucking glasses. I know they're $280,000 each, but man, you're going to want them so you can see not the sun. You want to not see something? Get these glasses to not see something. There it is, baby. That's all it is. It's like a fat guy blocking your view at a Yankee game and you buy tickets to sit behind him. It's like, anyone can watch the Yankee game. Do you ever sit behind a fat guy and not see the Yankee game? It's fucking crazy. It's so cool.
Do you want to block out the only part worth seeing? Yeah.
Right. But you could hear it. You could hear DJ Lappa you break his leg while he runs one inning. But anyway, so what the reports are going out there now, they're telling people, hey, listen, I know a lot of you can't afford the glasses. And I remember this happening in 2017 too.
Yeah, so just look right at the sun. It's not that big of a deal.
No, what they do is they go, and I know you're going to come up with other ideas. But hey, all you people who have welding glasses and welding masks at home, if they're not a certain level, it's not going to work. Now, we can get into this right away and talk about how, I don't know if you know these conspiracies, Bobby, but there are many people out there who believe that talk about staring at the sun is lies and it's deceit, and it's telling that in fact we can stare at the sun, and we can be in the sun a lot, but that makes us healthier, and it stops vitamins being sold, and it stops medicines happening there. So therefore, if we're not taking in as much sun, therefore the big pharma's got us. Now, I don't believe that's the case, because I think they've been saying don't stare at the sun since the first caveman was like, oh, I couldn't see anymore and fell off a cliff. So yeah, I believe me, as much as they want to say that, as a dumb kid, I definitely stared at the sun. It hurts your eyes after a while. It stinks.
Yeah. There was a cult that got real big on Reddit called Cantoism, and that was one of the guys' main tenets was that they don't want you to look at the sun.
Right.
Because
and that came out, and when that went away as a cult, it became just like one of the like a flat earth and everything else, just a thing to believe in and stuff like that.
Exactly. That tenet's one of those that they stuck by. But yeah, why wouldn't we want an open pituitary gland? Drink your fluoride. Don't look at the sun.
Yeah, let's go.
Be a sheep.
But be a sheep and be blind as fuck. So that'll be a good time. But I don't know why people. I won't care when the solar eclipse is happening and people are like, "Are you going to look at it?" I'm not. I don't care. I don't care about space anyway. Whatever. But I get why people have the interest. It is a change in what the world looks like. It's going to be dark for no reason. I understand that people want to see it. But then the morons who start buying things, and even worse, the people who start selling things for it, and then the ones who tell you you can't use regular things at home. And there literally has to be, the USA Today has an article, I've seen many other ones, telling people, I know it's 2 weeks away, but we know you idiots are already going to try to find it. So they're even telling you, listen, we're not saying you can't use welder glasses. We're just saying if you use the regular ones that most people have, if you're like a beginning welder or something, that like anything from like a level 12 down is not going to do shit. It's kind of like wearing a condom with a hole in it. Yeah, you got it on, but it ain't going to do nothing. And it's got to be level 14 or higher. But then you're a nerd if you're like, well, what's the difference between 12 and 14 levels of fucking goggles? Who the fuck knows? Nobody fucking knows that. Who made up those levels? It's kind of like saying it's 2 o'clock somewhere. Is it? Is time real? Is it a real thing? Or do we make it up just to get through our stupid lives? It's not a real thing. No one knows levels of goggles. Why are there 14 fucking levels of goggles? What's 0? No eyes? What the fuck is that? And how do we get to 12 where it's like good enough to weld, but not good enough to stare at the fucking sun? That's a lot of numbers there to get to that point. From 0 to fucking 12, but still not be good enough. But then just 2 more, and all of a sudden I can look at the sun? Why the fuck isn't that at 7? What are we doing? Are we even caring for our welders anymore? Does anyone care about the well-being of the welder? By the way, you're welcome, welders, for that hashtag. But welding lives matter is what I'm saying. But then they have a whole thing about where you can buy things, what you can do, how you can see it, and all the risks that can happen. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen? A bunch of idiots are going to go out there with 3D glasses on they got from the movies and try to stare at the sun. And they're going to hurt their eyes, and they're going to make videos of them wearing the dumb glasses or welding glasses or whatever and get injured. And because they're all caring about this dumb thing. Can we stop giving a fuck about the moon and the sun, please? Haven't we evolved enough to stop giving a fuck about the moon, the sun, space, any of that? Who gives a shit? I can't give a shit. I do not. It will never affect my life. If something happens in life where the moon is affecting my life, like the world's going to end, it's already too late anyway for me to give a fuck about it. If they're already like, the moon's going to kill us, then the moon's going to kill us. I can't do shit about that. And I don't need to stare at it. I don't need fucking glasses for that thing. I think there's a waste of time in a stupid fucking article. What's more of a waste of time are the people that fucking want to stare at fucking the moon and the sun and are fired up. People that are taking off April 8th so they can fucking stare at shit in the sky. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. If you bought glasses that are over $200 something so you can stare at the sky, you shouldn't be allowed to have your own money. You know what I mean? Your money should be taken away and given to other people. I think that and people who look for Bigfoot, their money should be taken away and given to homeless people because they'll use it better. They definitely, even if it's heroin's still a better move than staring at the sun. If you said to me, how are you spending your day? By trying to chase a high that you'll never chase again, that'll be amazing for 1 second and then you'll be yearning that for the rest of your life, or don't see the sun. I would do heroin every fucking time. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it people who give a fuck about the solar eclipse? Is it people who care about the moon? Is it people who bought the glasses? Is it welders who think they have the answer? Or is it me for fucking hating something that white women like a lot?
Well, I don't think it's you because white women tend to be dumb. So if you dislike what they like, it's usually cool.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It's so. Here's my thing. Do you remember the show Recess? It was about a group of fourth graders.
Yes. My
There's
kids
an
watch
episode.
that, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite cartoons. A lot of people say I'm like TJ, no big deal. But there's an episode where they have to build glasses. They go through this whole hullabaloo so they can watch the eclipse and not hurt their eyes. That's the last age you should care about a solar eclipse, is fourth grade. I remember the last one. I thought it was cool because I got to see the shadows on the ground as I was loading a treadmill into somebody's car at Dick's Sporting Goods. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, let me go look at it. It was, oh, cool. Let me get back to my job. I'm an adult. I think the only people who really care about eclipses are retarded. I don't know if you know this, like Frankie McDonald, super excited about the solar eclipse. Yeah. So I think like anybody who enjoys the eclipse or is making plans for the eclipse or like would travel somewhere for the eclipse, I would call retarded. So it's not so much them. The piece of shit is anybody who buys those glasses. $200 is way too expensive for
I
something
made that
you
number
get to
up.
do
It
once
might be
every
way
4
more.
years.
I just made up a number.
Yeah, or cultists. That's a good point too. There are a lot of people who worship the sun, but I would also consider those people, you guessed it, retarded. So for me, it's the sun. Like, why are you letting the moon block your light? I live my life by saying I'm never going to let anybody stop my shine, and the sun should adopt the same philosophy. Pat, who's your piece of shit?
Well, because you said that, I wanted to look at it. There are some on Amazon. You can get some for $100, which is still crazy. Then they've got the 100-piece wholesale solar eclipse glasses set, which is just 3D glasses with little flags on it. But those are 67 cents each. I wouldn't, if you find those, don't buy those. Okay, don't. You're better off just putting a match to your eyeball. Like, do not buy that thing. But yeah, what I guess I'm seeing is maybe not $100, but I mean not $200, but still spending $100. Spending anything on that is insane. Insane.
Yeah, especially when you can build one out of cardboard like they did on the TV show Recess.
I hate this to be the running theme. Yeah, go out and if you're gonna watch anything, either David Attell special or Recess. At least at the end of Recess, they don't play the flute.
No, they do.
But they're both quality shows, and you'll feel good about stuff. But
goddamn Spinelli's out there playing the flute.
Yeah, again. But a piece of shit again is people who give a shit about this. I hate when even the solar system is being used to distract us from other things. There's too many problems in the world for us to care about this. Don't pay attention to the election coming up. Don't pay attention to the weird wars that shouldn't be happening. Don't pay attention to like why a bridge just blew the fuck up. Don't pay attention to any of those fucking things. Let's pay attention to the sun and the moon having a dumb little fight. Who gives a fuck? If we were in a debate and I was debating someone who's like the solar eclipse is very important, it's amazing, and here's why, and they would go off on a whole diatribe, I wouldn't have notes. I would go, "Oh, it's my turn. Who gives a fuck? Your turn." Like that'd be it. Because I think I win with that. Because if anyone comes up and goes, "I give a fuck," I'm like, "Well, then tell me about yourself in 2 minutes." And when they start to talk, I go, "Boring, beat it, nerd," and it'd be done. Because that's all they are, just a fucking nerd who learned that because they couldn't learn how to talk to people. It's stupid. It's stupid and dumb and retarded and gay and all those things in the best ways possible.
Yeah, the only reason you should use a solar eclipse is to trick a primitive culture into thinking you're a god. That's right. The only time an eclipse is useful. Like, so I guess if you wanted to go to like Sydney, Nova Scotia and trick a group of retards, have fun. But other than that, you're not a god.
And that's what I'm saying. Haven't we evolved past this? I thought we had gotten past the point of staring up at the sky. In the last, I was going to say 50 years, but fuck it. In the last 20, 30 years, the way we've evolved with technology, with advances in fucking every way we communicate, in medicines and everything there, it's crazy how we still do dumbass shit. It's crazy how sometimes we still are a third world fucking country. You could say what you want about it being cute and fun. The groundhog is some fucking back world fucking crazy ass shit. The fact that we fucking still talk about that in the news, what is that?
That's It's pagan as shit. Like an
It's
old nature
pagan as
ritual.
shit, and it's also insane that there are people who go, but really, did he see a shadow? The fuck are you talking about? Did he see a shadow? It's fucking, it's a weather report. Just fucking go do a weather. We have satellites that do what that thing does.
Yeah.
It's
I don't.
stupid that we care.
Yeah, and like again, people go, "It's fun, it's cute." It's really not. Like the one died in New York because Cuomo couldn't. It pinched Cuomo's nipple piercing, and he dropped it.
Right. And also, they don't want to be picked up or it's an animal that's never fucked with. And now we're fucking putting paparazzi around it for a day. We don't know what kind of damage it's doing to that animal. What if that animal gets all fucked up with the flashes and the cameras and all that stuff, and then it goes out and starts killing other animals? We don't see that shit. What kind of fucking Jeffrey Dahmer groundhog we talking here?
Well, I mean, it's never allowed back into nature.
Yeah, and people that look at the sun
of what we've done
either.
to it. Yeah, no, I agree. We should lock them up and make
you
them
walk
tell
outside,
us
you stare at the sun for a long period of time because it's moon time. You shouldn't be allowed to have anything but nap time. You should have to lay down for a while.
I think we should treat moon people the same we treated groundhogs and just throw lacrosse balls at them.
I don't think we can call moon people. That felt racist. I don't know why, but it felt racist.
I didn't call them moon-faced people.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, Bobby, you got a story? And by the way, I think you're pulling back a little bit. It is getting a little quiet.
Yeah, I was smoking. My bad.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to do our other music story or something about Manhattan?
Let's do Manhattan. Let's get off music.
Okay. Let's get off music. Let me find my story. Vigilante or villain, the disturbing trend of unprovoked attacks on women in Lower Manhattan. In a series of alarming incidents that have gripped the streets of Lower Manhattan, multiple women have reported being randomly assaulted by an unidentified man. These attacks, characterized by sudden and unprovoked punches to the face, have sparked widespread concern and fear among residents, particularly women walking alone. The incidents, which have been shared widely on social media platforms like TikTok, have led growing suspicion that a single individual may be behind these violent attacks. Sarah Suzuki Harvard, a comedian walking alone on Delancey Street, was one of the first to report such an attack.
Pause. What was her name?
Sarah Suzuki Harvard.
Okay, this is a fake AI story.
This is not a fake AI story.
You just named the two things that Asians do. They drive Suzukis and they go to Harvard.
So AI did write the story, but the facts are true. Does that make sense? I was like, please compile the latest.
Harvard?
Dude, if AI came up with that name on its own, high five Perplexity for being racist shit. I love it.
That's like, and her friend, Phyllis Tamagotchi Wuhan. Like, no, that's not your name.
So she was walking alone on Delancey Street. She described being punched from behind, leading to a series of debilitating symptoms, including headaches, nausea, and PTSD. Influencer Haley Kate and Parsons School of Design student Michaela Toninato also shared their experience, detailing sudden assaults that left them with visible injuries. These accounts, among others, have painted a disturbing picture of a man targeting women engaged with their phones, exploiting their momentary distractions to carry out the attacks. The descriptions provided by victims have been eerily similar, with one detailed account describing the assailant as a black male, approximately 6 feet tall, with dreadlocks or twists ending right above his shoulders, last seen wearing a knit hat, denim jacket, and jeans. This consistency in victim reports has fueled the speculation about motives behind these attacks, raising the questions. Is this individual a misguided vigilante targeting distracted pedestrians, or a villain exploiting vulnerability for his own twisted satisfaction? Pat, who's the piece of shit in this story?
Well, to start, before I give my answer, I think I need to give a little background on how I think this affects me a little bit. As a person who hasn't been driving for a while, I walk a lot of places. And when I walk a lot of places, I have to use crosswalks at a lot of busy intersections. And I noticed that some people respect crosswalks. Even when they're like at a light where it says you can turn on red, whatever, most people will slow down at least. Look at if they see someone coming at the crosswalk, I won't treat it like a stop sign, and then edge forward, then make a turn. But there's a lot of people who just bust right through that. And I get that if they're not looking right at the right area, and they're driving and they're just trying to get in their day and they don't see me coming one side, I got to look as a pedestrian as well, too. I almost let that go. But when they're stopped at the light and they're just sitting there and they just start to edge forward because they're like, I want to fucking get there first, even though they're not trying to beat anyone past, they're not trying to get into another lane. They're literally just trying to go forward for no reason. And then my crosswalk light goes on where I can cross. And then I start to walk and they just keep edging to the point where they're now in the entire crosswalk and I have to walk into the road. I've turned many times and been like, what the fuck? And usually they go, oh, sorry. But sometimes they'll go like, fuck you. Like that. And that's where it's like, does this person need to die? Does this person need to be made an example of so other people don't go in the fucking crosswalk? You're a car, I'm a guy. I'm not going to win this one, maybe verbally, but physically, I'm never going to win that thing. Why can't you give a fuck about that thing? If you hit me in the crosswalk, you're gone for a long fucking period of time. It should be taken as a real rule and not doing that shit. So I understand going after that. That being said, I don't think this guy is a vigilante going after people. I think this guy is just a fucking piece of shit. And I think this guy is just out there being garbage. But I do get why people can think he is that. So the piece of shit is him. But the mentality and why people can say, is he that? I feel you, but brother, I've been there.
It feels like anyone who drives a car in Connecticut should watch out for you. It seems like you're a hair trigger away from being this guy. But no. I didn't get to present the choices, but I get what you're saying. That maybe punching women's wrong, but let me posit this question. Perhaps he's not the hero we want. He's the hero we need.
But
how many of those, like, what were those women doing? Okay, what were they doing on their phone? Were they picking a fight for no reason? Were they pretending, telling one guy they love him while they were texting another one to go fuck him? We don't know the whole story. I'm just going to say this. Sarah Suzuki Harvard seems very suspicious. I don't think that's a real name. Maybe she's cheating too. Maybe this guy's doing what we need. So let's not be too quick to judge him. Sure, a lot of people might say the police are the piece of shit because they're more worried about not arresting this guy and getting subway hoppers. I get that, but also, like, again, perhaps it's like a Batman situation where they're like, we don't want to arrest the hero. Maybe all of these women were cheating on their cop husbands, and so now, So for me, I'm going to say the piece of shit in this story is probably the white women walking alone. Like, what are you doing at childbearing age without a man in your life?
Jesus, okay. I didn't think that's where you're going.
Just saying, don't walk alone.
Oh, that's
like that
it?
Liverpool song.
No longer take, just like, fuck you, white women. Good night, everybody.
Just saying, we need to ask, like we do in all these situations, what did they do to put themselves there? Did they break a guy's heart?
Bobby doesn't kind of have a point. He doesn't kind of have a point at all.
I'm just saying, like, if they hadn't hurt the guy who was good to him, or maybe that guy in the friend zone they gave a shot to, they wouldn't be walking alone, and Mr. Dreadlocks wouldn't have to hit them.
Well, maybe that woman realized that guy was nuts, and she had to get away.
Well, then sounds like she deserves to get hit, Pat. And
yeah,
I don't know what to tell you there.
Well, maybe she already did get hit. Maybe someone should have let her alone when a bus ran her over. Anyway,
whoa, different, very different situation.
I know, but it was very funny. We were going down there. I know it was 8 stories all at once, but that was fun times. That was all alleged and fun. But it's like, I think any kind of vigilante nowadays should stop. No more vigilantes. Stop. We put that term on people way too much. Back in the day when there were vigilantes, we didn't learn they were vigilantes until they were already dead. You know what I mean? Now we just go, come on, he could have been doing it for right. When you murder, you're usually doing it for murder. When you hurt people, you usually do it for hurt people. You're not usually doing it. Not everyone's a Batman villain who has like a motive. They might think they have one, but they're just pieces of shit.
What about if this guy were to be at the airport and as Diddy was running to get on his plane, he sucker punched the Diddler? Then would we call him a vigilante?
No. We called him a digilante. Yeah, the Diddler and the digilante, baby. I'm Out. No, I wanted to put that up there so I can say you can't stab people because they fucking rejected you.
I think that's a news story, actually, though. Like, that's shit that is happening in New York right now.
No, I
So
know, but I'm saying out loud, don't.
I don't like walking around alone in New York as a man, and I have crazy eyes. Like, it's a scary place.
Okay, but let me ask you this, and this made me
No,
think of
you're
this.
not allowed to ask me. No, nope.
Oh, fine. Let
No
me
more
ask
questions.
V this. V, look, with all the gun crime that is happening in the world, are we happier as a country when there's stabbings? Because at least we're like, hey, at least they're not shooting. You're not gonna like stab someone, you're not gonna stab the wrong person like in a drive-by stab. I know that bit's been done. I'm not doing a joke. I'm just saying for real, like when you're stabbing, you're kind of just going after the one, even if it's wrong to do it, you're only hurting the one person you were trying to hurt. You're not gonna have a whole bunch of people get hurt in the way. So are we almost like you think England looks at that and goes, they're finally evolving to us, huh? Just stabbing instead of shooting. Is it better to? You shouldn't do either. But if you're gonna do one, are you better to stab or use a gun?
So there are really two schools of thought here. And the first one is, yes, stabbing means less guns, more targeted crime, right? You can't accidentally shoot sideways, aim too low, and kill 9 people by, you know what I mean, with a stabbing. The other school of thought, though, is if everybody were armed, then the minute somebody went to do a drive-by, it would be stopped by vigilanteism. That's where a lot of the Second Amendment comes from. I tend to be more in that school of thought. Like, I'd rather not be a victim. I don't carry, though, and I don't have any self-defense classes. So I talk the talk, but I don't walk the walk even remotely. So, you know.
Unfortunately, I have to walk the walk until I get my fucking license. Ew.
Yeah. How do you feel about government overregulation of things, Pat? Go ahead.
Love it. I think it's the best. I think we should have more. I've said this before. I think that we should follow suit of all the Asians, and our internet should be given to us for free by the government. I watch enough porn. I'm fine with
like
it.
Sarah
I don't want to pay
Suzuki
bills
Harvard?
anymore.
Asians
Sarah
like Sarah
Suzuki Harvard.
Harvard.
My only issue with that name is that her first name is Sarah.
How do you think she says it?
Oh, that's how she says
Like
it.
that, like that Egyptian soccer player Mohamed
Suzuki
Salah.
Heaven. These aren't their names.
I'm gonna Google that and see if she's a real person.
Crazy. All right. We've done an hour and a half. How you feeling? You want to do more stuff, or you want to call it a day? I know you're a tired guy this morning.
I got one more story I'd like to do. If you got another story, I'd be down to listen to it.
I mean, yeah, I got stuff. Okay, fine. I'll do one here, and then you do yours. Then we'll get out of here. But real quick, why don't we do our little plug things now and get that out of the way? Please like.
Hang on a second.
Jump on there.
Developing news while you give your plugs. I'll pull it up. Sorry.
All right, so I can do the plugs while you're doing that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to the channel, like it. Yes, if you're watching us on not on YouTube, and you're watching us on Bobby's Twitter or the POS Facebook page, you can still pop on over here when you're watching the video and just hit a subscribe to the channel. You can watch it in other places, but it helps us out if you subscribe to it. You like the video, that helps as well. And give it a share. You're like, hey, you want to laugh at something fun and uncensored in the morning? Check this out. Just so people know we exist. That would help. The groundswell would be really nice if we can get that moving. I know people are enjoying it. We're enjoying it. But it'd be great if more people are watching it with us. Like I said, join that Patreon, because if you want to watch the replays of some of these shows, like our POS one at night, or at least one of these a week, they will be just living there on the Patreon after they go live. But we'll still give out a couple live ones a week. We'll be going live all the time, and that'll be for free. But then if you want to watch the replays afterwards, whatever it is. I will be on 95.9 to Fox again today, and tomorrow and Friday. So you can go to the website if you're not in the Fairfield County area to hear that, with great fucking 90s and 2000s music, and my dumb banter in between, my fake knowledge of music and things. Support me on the radio as well. A bunch of shows coming up. Oh, and tonight, I think if you're a Patreon person, you watch it tonight. But if not, if you're a fan of the podcast, the Who's Right podcast, it's one of my favorite ones to go on. I'll be on there tonight, 7:00 Central Time. So you go check on that out if you're a fan of them. Doug was just texting me and going, hey, If you have any plugs, tell me that. I want to get out of the way so we can focus on the important things like racism and mass shootings. And I'm like, perfect. That's what we want to focus on. I'm like, we're just talking about that now. So isn't that great? But yeah, so you can check that out. And Bobby,
Do all the Patreon subscribing. Check out Pat on the Who's Right podcast. And if you're looking for some live comedy this weekend, Baltimore, I know you guys could use a good laugh. I'm at the Port Friday and Saturday with Aaron Berg. Now, Pat, we thought that maybe this guy was just punching women for a variety of reasons, but I present to you Sarah Suzuki Harvard. I think I may know why she got punched.
she's fat.
It looks like perhaps Sarah has a secret.
She's fat.
Look at that Adam's apple, big guy.
Oh, I can't. Maybe it's because of I got the picture smaller.
I'm just
And that
saying,
could actually be a real apple.
It could be. She's so fat like a piggy, but I think this man got tricked.
Okay, is he tricked because man to woman or tricked because of cultural appropriation? He thought he was getting an Asian woman. That's a fat white lady.
Yes, I think the second. I think she's lying about her cultural heritage, and he's trying to issue ethical societal justice.
He's like, wait, you're a man, not a Chan. That was his thing. And he was very upset.
He was like, oh, I thought I was mad at you for starting Corona, but now I'm mad at you for stealing someone else's culture.
Now I'm mad at you for drinking my Corona, you fat bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
Moo moo.
Woo ham.
Oh, God. You didn't eat a bat. You ate a cow, you fat bitch.
You stupid fat bitch. You the Great Wall of fucking ugly bitches. That's what you is. What's your name? Rick Shaw?
Oh. Oh, man.
Was that our breaking news?
That was our breaking news. Was that she was
Is that really even her? Or did you just find like a fat white lady dressed like an Asian?
No, that's really her. I Googled it to make sure she was real.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a penis.
We needed a name for the episode.
You know what? Why not? No one cares about the title anyway. They just all look for the stupid picture I put up and see if there's a hot lady in it. That's all it ever is. Did you see my picture the other day? That was for you. I put Lindsay Lohan there.
Yeah, I like. That's one of the few I liked. I went out of my way to make sure.
No, it's tough too because I didn't want Lindsay Lohan now. I wanted one of the ones that people know her from when she was the most popular. But you shouldn't Google Lindsay Lohan young.
Hot. No.
I did do that, and then I was like, "Ah, fuck! Oh, what the fuck? I just dropped it. I just
probably got that one.
My headphone.
You got that one of her on the bed with. Just
I'm
her,
one
like,
headphone down
and,
right now. Hold on, goodbye.
I like how Pat's hiding while I recount my knowledge of Lindsay Lohan's
Yeah.
photographic history.
I'll do the story well down here.
Don't do it down there.
Doing it down here. Ladies and gentlemen.
Looks like I'm doing a diddler to you.
Yeah, the Diddler. Okay, so are you all familiar? I'm on my knees telling the bitch, please. Are you all familiar with the story going on the last couple of weeks? You and I have not covered it because I did not care. Kate Middleton and her supposed disappearance. Are you familiar with any of that at all? Kate Middleton from royal family fame?
Yeah, I heard she was having an affair.
All right, well, way to break the story, dick. Anyway,
Wait, what?
If you heard that, you heard it from Stephen Colbert. But he wasn't the only one joking about it. There was memes all over the place. People talking about the AI pictures that were put up. People saying, "Is she dead? What's happening to her? How come no one's seen her at all?" Well,
Actually,
I guess it came out the other day that she has been battling some form of stomach cancer and is kind of trying to leave the public eye. And so everyone just going, "Where the fuck is she? Did they kill her? Is she being cheated on? Is she cheating? Is all these things happening where we're just being idiots?" She had stomach cancer. Now, like a lot of the other late night shows, like Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers, Colbert, same way. They have to come out with content every day that's on top of news, like we're doing here on the mornings. Trending stories, making fun of it, doing stuff like that. So you're making fun of the thing that people care about because, like, oh, I care about that thing, so I watch the thing about the thing. Like, that's how the fucking dumb world works. It's all sheep shit. So I get why they're doing it. But, like, they're doing it to make a joke. And then you find out, oh, man, I shouldn't have made a joke about this. It was this instead. Now, usually in comedy, you don't really apologize for your jokes because everybody was joking about it and you can move on. But when you are on those late night shows nowadays where they're so worried about not getting any views because no one's watching that shit live. They're watching clips of it later. They're watching it stream later. The last thing they want to do is be able to be canceled because they really even shouldn't have those jobs anymore. Like the late night talk show doesn't even make sense anymore to be out there, but there are people that still hold on to it and try to watch it. So they have to be more apologetic than ever. Like Letterman would have never apologized for a joke there. Johnny Carson would have never apologized for a joke he did about something. He would have made a joke about the joke and moved on. But Stephen Colbert came out and said, hey, and he did it with a whole somber thing. Not even like a fun thing. It's like, to be serious for a second, I made jokes about Kate Middleton. Please, first of all, everyone was making jokes. I was just trying to be funny, but I was not making fun of that. A lot of people have lost people to cancer. I know I said the affairs and things of that nature, but I did not know what it was. My apologies to, the Catherine the Great, whatever the fuck they call her, all that fucking bullshit. And people are like backlashing, going, I can't believe that Stephen Colbert did that. Even though, like, there's the same people who are sharing all the memes of the AI picture of her being forced into a thing or saying that she's missing. Everybody was jumping on this stupid shit. I mean, when I was at breakfast with my dad and my sisters on Sunday, my sisters were all talking about, you don't know about the Kate Middleton thing? And I was like, no. And they're like, oh shit, I'm shocked you haven't talked about that on your show because, like, everyone's talking about it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the royal family. I've never given a fuck about the royal family. I'll never care about any of that. I just don't. They're not a royal family to me. They're just fucking incest people. But anyway, I don't give a shit.
Incest really is people. Incest pride.
That's a Bob Marley was
Too
talking
retarded to live. Too retarded
Put it
to
in
die.
your sister. Then you call her Mister. Oh God, I was trying to think of a rhyme with Grandpa. Anyway, but I never given a fuck. But I know people did, and people do love the royal family. People care when Queen Elizabeth died and all that kind of shit. But this kind of shit, where you're like, where is somebody, and you're speculating things. It's so crazy how nuts they go to that extreme. Well, it's got to be this fucking controversy, whatever. Well, why do we need to know what Kate Middleton's doing without me looking it up, Bobby? Without you looking it up. Do you know what Kate Middleton's function is in the royal family?
Yeah, she's the next king's concubine.
Yeah, I know they don't call it anymore, but I know what you're saying. She's the mother of the next king's children, right? That's
Yeah.
But is she like the Duchess of Pork or whatever? Like, what is her
fuck
fucking
that?
title?
Who gives a shit? Fuck all of them. We just throw it to me, dude? I'm chomping at the bit. I tried to cut you off early because I hate all these cunts.
Go.
You know who's a piece of shit? There are 3. Okay, piece of shit 1. Anybody who cares about this. Subsection A, the group that like is like, oh my god, I love the royalty. Where's the queen? I'm worried she's gonna die. We fucking dumped their tea in the harbor and fought a whole bunch of wars for you to get the fuck over that. Cross the border up to Montreal and get on your knees and suck the royal cock again. The second group is the people who are like, oh my god, there's a celebrity, we don't know what they're doing at this exact minute and have to track him. I know I jumped on the Colbert thing, but the reason I actually knew that was a rumor is because some of these housewife like groups that follow the housewives were like, we got to track this lady down. They don't give a fuck about the royalty. They care about tracking and catching somebody cheating. Cheating is cool. It's why you want to be famous. Okay? Let those people do their, like, let celebrities, when they want to be in public, be in public. Like, we don't need to Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan this situation up. The second piece of shit, and the far bigger piece of shit in the story you specifically presented, was Stephen Colbert. I get it. You feel bad. You probably have a family member who died of cancer or something along those lines, or you saw the writing on the wall with all these people coming after you. You had a perfect out. You got late night to be funny. Am I wrong, Pat? Or what was it? Some other reason they chose him? Was it his stunning good looks?
It was not. I what I've heard is it wasn't because he was a fucking fine piece of ass. I've not heard that report.
Right. It's because he was a funny comedian. He had the character. Bring out Colbert. Do the Colbert Report. Come out like that super American guy and be like, you know what? I'm not buying this cancer story. You know what's a great way to cover up cheating? Saying you have brain cancer so people stop looking into it. USA, 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 and do the character. It could have been a funny out, right? Do something about pissing on the royal family that you think she's a cheating whore like they've all been. You know who will love that? The fucking Irish. And any true-blooded Americans like me. You see what this hat says? Us. Not Great Britain. Us. Goddamn America. Love it or leave it, baby. Sorry, that was my whole shit. I fucking hate the royal family drama. They're all inbred fucks. They had that one dude go overseas and pretend to be a soldier for a while. You know, oh yeah, let me do this interview where coincidentally a iron's going to go off and I'm going to take off running in the middle of the interview. That's not totally staged. Fuck England. The only good thing they did was Brexit. They created that. They created the Brexit account on Instagram, which I don't know if you know this. It's just really hard red card earning soccer tackles. And then they go, looks clean to me, mate. And they play the British song. That's the two good things they did. Pat, who's your piece of shit in this story?
The third great thing they did was Mr. Bean. Let's not forget Mr. Bean is a fucking national treasure. I like Mr. Bean.
I will allow Mr. Bean. If you will allow Jimmy Carr.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Well, Jimmy Carr's the law. I feel Jimmy Carr really is American at this point anyway, but whatever.
Me too.
Same thing with Ricky Gervais. I don't feel like they are England anymore. They're just they're like international treasures now.
Ricky Gervais, I still consider part of England. He seems like
I know, but he's the reason we got the office here. So like, he's kind of he's one of the few things that gave to us.
He's a double wanker from England.
Yeah. Before we get to my rebuttal on that, I want to address what V is saying here and say this. I will give those two ginger fucking princes their credit where credit is due. Dude, do they fuck out of their fucking league. Like, they do a great job. Markle, Middleton, very attractive women. You know what I mean? I know everyone said Princess Di. Princess Di looked like Larry Bird, but thin. Fuck off. She wasn't pretty. These two women are very attractive women. And those guys are goofy, scary gingers. One of them way more Down syndrome than the other one. So I feel kind of bad that you can say, oh, our DNAs can do both these things? That kind of sucks. One's Richie Cunningham and one should be with Sloth from Goonies. So the fact that they've got those women is fantastic. So you are right. They are hot. That's why we care. If they were fat piggies, I don't think we care about fat piggies. You know what I mean? We're worried about our hot women being taken over by these gross people. You know, that's more the concern more than anything else. I think as Americans, we get upset that someone's banging somebody good when we should. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Good point,
it does
Blaze.
help. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it does help that, Blaze. Of course it helps that. But we all know people with a title who fuck out of their league. But they're doing it being ginger without any souls, looking all creepy and gross. That being said, Bobby, we have agreed many times in the years that we've been together on this show. But there has never been a time where we agree more than on this fucking subject. Are you fucking kidding me? Every fucking person who gives a shit about the King of England, Queen of England, of course I'm freezing right the fuck down.
Yeah, dude, they did not like your besmirching of the royalty.
I think royalty's trying to shut this the fuck down. So we might have to stop after this fucking story right here. But like, anyway, if anyone gives a fuck about this at all, you should not be allowed to be in this country anymore. You should have to go back. We ran away from the king. We have ran away from royalty because they were treating us like shit, and we show. Now, we might not be right in that. We might be the crazy ones who should have left. Maybe we're the criminals and we built our own place like Australia did. Who fucking knows? But at the end of the fucking day, we ran away from them. So why are we still enamored with their shit? Why do we still care? And it's not even people that were there. It's generations after. Like I said, I know a lot of young 20-year-old white women that are enamored with the Queen of England and all that kind of shit like that. Why do they fucking care? I don't understand. You shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore. You should have to go back. If you say the Queen is the best, go away. Maybe you don't like our president and stuff like that, but that's why we have to get behind our politics instead of going, whoa, the fucking king and queen are cool. I wonder how Kate Middleton's doing. If you don't treat it like a soap opera and just watch it and you say the Queen is the best, the second you say the Queen is the best, long live the Queen, you should fucking leave.
Yeah. Amen. The only reason I care about the royalty right now is Prince Harry was cited in the FBI's search of Diddy's house, just to tie those two stories together. So in addition to being inbred fucks, they also have a long-running history of pedophilia.
Inbred fucks and want the world to know how to let it show.
You know what? We were going to end it, Pat, but it seems like you're in a musical mood, and I got one last music story.
As long as people
Real
are
quick.
okay with, I can't read the comments. If you can, great, because it's fucking frozen on my end still. So,
Yeah, I can read it, the comments for you.
cool. I can't put them up, but you can just read them if there's something good up there. So yeah, my apologies for the fucking.
Oh, okay. So here's a good one.
Frozen shit.
Terry Nee said Elton John was the true Queen of England. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, have you seen the trend on Instagram or TikTok where it's you take the boy out of the city, not the city out the man.
I have not.
Okay, so the dude from Stranger Things who goes by DJO wrote a song.
Which guy from Stranger Things?
The boy, one of the boys.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll find it up for you because that's
okay. No, you can just go out. I can figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Hang on 1 second. I've got it right here. Joe Keery.
Oh, okay. One of the older boys. He's not
one of the older boys. Yeah. Okay. No. The taller. I think he worked at the restaurant thing.
Yeah, I like him in the show. Yeah, that's cool. So
he wrote a song, and everybody under the DJO. I don't know.
Oh yeah, my daughter likes his music and stuff. She told me she knew him from that shit even when the shows first started. Okay,
so the song that's really kicked and kind of like proved all the critics wrong was this song where it's called "The End of Beginnings," and it's like when I go back to Chicago, I feel it, a new version of me. It's beginning, yada yada yada. So it's all about going back to Chicago. Song's a massive hit, #1 on all the charts, and it's time to do a music video. So in an unexpected twist that has Windy City buzzing with speculation, Jussie Smollett, the actor whose career was marred by a controversial legal saga, was spotted auditioning for the music video of the much-anticipated single, End of Beginning. This marks Smollett's first public attempt to re-enter the entertainment industry since his high-profile court case. That, if you'll recall, the reason why he got arrested for saying this is MAGA country and all that stuff in Chicago and pretending to get beat up, and he had to noose and bleach. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Jussie Smollett for auditioning about the song of Chicago? Is it the newspaper for covering it like DJO's taking it seriously? Is it DJO for getting so tired of being molested that he decided to go into the music industry thinking that he would be safe there, only for the Diddy news to break and him to find out he's not really safe? Who is the piece of shit in this story? Pat?
It's not Jussie Smollett. It's not. Juicy, I think, was trying to test the waters to see, is it okay for me to come back now? Has it been a long enough time for me to, am I going to get sympathy? It's not. I don't think it ever will be because no one really liked him anyway. He wasn't like a super popular person,
No.
But I do get once in a while popping your head back out.
And like the theme of the song could be kind of about like him starting over again, right? Like it does kind of fit the theme.
Right. And
he's also at the same time
saying it's about him. He's just trying to go, oh yeah, remember me? And trying to go, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Oh, poor guy. He fucking lost everything. I mean, I think Shane Gillis made a great example of like, hey, if you get canceled, you can come back. And other people have done it too. Actors have done it. Like, I mean, think about the number of people from the Brat Pack that were all like druggies, and Winona Ryder was stealing everything. How about Stranger Things? Stealing everything in the world and going to jail for a little bit, but now she's
Rob Lowe had a sex tape with a 14-year-old.
What?
Rob Lowe
yes.
had a sex tape with a 14-year-old, and everybody just loves him again.
Oh, I thought you were saying why they loved him back then and now they don't like him. He had a cool thing, like a sex tape with a 14-year-old. Right. Same kind of thing. We talked about how Michael Jackson, his music still always loved no matter what. It's still hard to like let go of what you love and stuff like that. No one really loved Jussie Smollett, but you're hoping that maybe he can come back. People were mad at Milli Vanilli for stealing from other people and doing whatever and lying, but now they can be in commercials and be silly and fun. It always changes all the time. I think Juicy was trying to say, hey, can I come back out? Am I okay to play anymore? And they're like, we never cared about you. Fuck off. It's fine. It's not the kid making the videos. Listen, you're that all those guys from Stranger Things. I do enjoy that series. I'm happy that I'm looking forward to the last part of the season coming out and seeing it. but so many of them have been typecast and not allowed to be out there. Can you still see me? I just got everything shut down.
You're frozen.
Good.
We can hear you.
Nope, we're back again. Cool.
Oh shit! Let's go.
I don't
back
know what
to
happened.
the
All of a sudden, it was like, gone, whatever. It's because you know what? Because the people are like, you know what? You're going to talk about Juicy? We're okay. Fuck him. We're the royal family. Whatever. You move
as long
on.
as you're done with the Royals.
Don't freeze. But yeah, oh shit! I thought it was going to happen again. Anyway, I do feel like that kid doing that is just like, I got to prepare for when this is over because I'm going to be typecast anyway. I have a little career going. I can do something else. It's kind of like 21 Pilots and all those the actors who do other things too. They don't know when it's going to end, so like at least I have something else to do, and I get that. It's fine. It's TikTok. TikTok, you've got so much going on as it is. There's so many things to watch. What I like, okay, so sometimes at night, at the end of the night, my girlfriend will be like, she likes to rewind by looking at TikTok. And I never thought about that. I have TikTok and I watch certain things, but you really can curate what your TikTok is by what you watch, almost more than any other thing. I know you can do it on Instagram and other stuff, but you really curate by what you watch. It really feeds into that algorithm, and you can build your own thing. So she'll be like, "Oh, you want to watch my TikTok?" Her TikTok is so different than when I watch TikTok. That's like two different fucking worlds. Like, it's not the same fucking app. You know what I mean? It's all there, but we can see different shit. The fact that TikTok pretends like we have to keep forcing new trends all the time. Let's do this lame thing with this dorky guy so another fucking loser can get together. You don't need that. We got plenty of shit. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a guy who's been animating Kurt Cobain and just saying lines of his songs and then putting in different situations.
Yes.
And he's like, it's got him on a plane doing pills and shit. And he just goes, "I'm on a plane," and that's all he says there. It's like, and then it's like, "Come as you are," and he's just wearing a suit, walking into it. It's like doing silly things about it. We got so much creativity. We don't need fucking DJ Jazzy Jeff Jr. and fucking Smalley A. Jones doing a collab. Nobody needs that on TikTok. TikTok should be like, "Fuck you. We don't need that shit. We've already gotten all the Americans' information. It doesn't fucking matter."
I couldn't agree. One of my favorites. Have you seen the guy who mixes Soldier Boy into inappropriate songs? So he just waits for like you.
That.
That's my favorite. I think that's the best use of the internet.
There's a black guy who does. I forget his name. I follow him. I love him. And a lot of other people do it too. I think he does it the best. He does like, okay, let's say like when Stevie Wonder's doing a song. And he goes, "This is Stevie recording." So he's being Stevie, and then he shows like the producer or whatever, and then Stevie will just be going like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah," and then also the producer's like, "All right, all right," and they kind of like act out all the guy, like the guitarist, like, "When are you gonna sing the next word?" It's like the song built like "Lovely Day," and he's like, "Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day," and he's dancing, and he goes, "Lovely day," and then you see the guy's exhaustion.
Yes,
it's silly and dumb. But it's funny. I enjoy it. This guy does a great job with that. A buddy of mine, Brian Blackmore, who's a funny comic guy in Connecticut, who's going to be viral with all his shit. He does like a white guy version. He had a Michael McDonald one like that. Those are fun, and I wouldn't see that anywhere else. You know what I mean? So I enjoy that can be on TikTok. So there is great things there. But we don't need fucking DJ Goober from fucking the fifth most popular guy from Stranger Things, his song going into videos that inspired Juicy Smollett to come back out of his hole and go, "Is it okay to play?" You know what I mean? That shit we don't need.
Okay, well, with all the stories today, you shouldn't say someone's coming into somebody's hole and asking if it's okay to play.
Come in your hole. I
think you brought up some solid, valid points there. But for me, the piece of shit in the story is Jussie Smollett, and not for the reason you think. I think it is time to reemerge, and this is kind of on the right path. But the perfect opportunity is out there for him. What was his first inch into stardom? The Mighty Ducks. Remake the Mighty Ducks. There's this actor who's down
I didn't
on
know
his
he was
crime.
even in that. I know nothing of Jussie Smollett.
He was one of the dudes in the Mighty Ducks, but there's an actor who fakes a hate crime, and he gets probation in the city of Chicago. He has to teach a group of inner city kids hockey. It's the Mighty Ducks relaunch. That's how Jussie Smollett should come back. He's the piece of shit for not giving us that.
And it would bring us Estevez back. I miss Estevez.
Yeah, not Sheen. Oh, it'd be crazy if Sheen was the rival coach. He's just doing drugs and trying to get Jussie to come back to the gay side.
The gay side.
That's going to do it, folks.
Well, when I was a kid, and they'd be like, "Don't go on the wrong side of the tracks." And you're like, "I didn't know I'm gay."
Yeah, that's how I always interpreted it.
I thought it was street toughs, not street butts.
Oh no!
Jesus.
Turns out they were one and the
Who's your
same,
piece of shit in
according to
that,
Peter.
Bobby?
Smollett for not making the Mighty Ducks.
Okay, I don't think he has the director or producer rights, but you're right. He should have leaned in. He should have at least been like, see, that'd be funny if he put himself in. If Jesse Smollett was wearing the Mighty Ducks outfit or the hockey outfit, but now as an adult, and at the end, like stitched himself in videos, when they're like, it's like, where's this guy been? Where's that? Whatever. And then he pops out like, can we just forget about the other stuff and get back to the hockey? Like, if he's ending every video in that'd be funny. And you go, all right, let's have him back and shit. He becomes like the Thor's hammer at the end of Marvel, where you're like, at the end after the credits, you're like, here's Smollett in the hockey outfit holding the fucking stick. And you're like, yeah, I want that guy back.
He just, every video, he goes, quack, quack, quack. All right, not yet, America, but soon.
I would like that. It's like some ladies like, this is how we start our day. At 8 a.m., we make sandwiches. At 9 a.m., all the kids get in the car. At 10 a.m., and he goes, quack, quack. Like he just pops in on the thing. Like, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I would love it.
Do you think we can get Juicy Smollett on the podcast? Can we get him for next week?
I'll reach out. I don't think he's doing much these days. He's probably not going to like that AI story I made up about him.
So he's doing TikTok. Does he have his own TikTok?
Who, Smollett?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't use it. It's the Chinese. I get yelled at all the time. Why haven't you liked my TikTok? It's like, I don't use that shit.
Oh, I use it. I like Chinese stuff. Chinese stuff is way better than our stuff. Because who doesn't have good stuff? England. Fuck you.
No, fuck England. And we're going to end with a fun speech about England. Well, not about England, kind of about Canada, but this is our inspirational thing. Yeah.
Join us again on Friday. We have a guest, I believe. I still have to reach out and make sure it's 100%, but it should be fun. But either way, we're going to have a good time. And thank you all, everybody. Terry and E, Blaze, V, Husey for earlier, Stormy.
Dominic was in there.
Terry and E. Aaron was there before. What's his name? Jim, was Jim today or yesterday? I forget. I think that was yesterday, Jim. It's all a blur. But thank you for everyone that was watching, jumping in, all that stuff. Kish Kish, if he was there, I don't know, but we appreciate all of you for watching. We'll be back on Friday. Like I said, if you can help us out, share that you watch this. Let people know. Thanks, V. Let people know you watch. Let them know you want some fun laughs in the morning where people actually read your things and don't ask you for money to read your things. We will once we're allowed to. But anyway, you can jump on there and check that out. We appreciate all of you. Subscribe, like, get on the Patreon, all that fun fucking stuff. Bobby, leave us with some words of wisdom or your rant if you want.
My words of wisdom are this. Gordon Sinclair during the Vietnam War wrote a letter about the Americans. It was called, A Canadian's Opinion. And this guy, Charles Ashman, wrote a response. And it was, the other day I heard on radio, I heard your moving letter. And you're right. We're down. But it's okay. We'll soon be doing better. You see, as a nation, we're very young, but we've done a lot of living. And yes, you're right. Our sin has always been and given we fought for causes, not our own crusade. Basically, America might be down now, but we've always been accused of caring too much. So don't let the world change you. Don't let the world make you stop caring. And don't turn into a piece of shit.
What Bobby's saying is that girl says, no, you keep fucking bothering her, baby. You give her that love, even if she doesn't want that love. You stalk that bitch.